Well, they give them donations, you know.
They give them money to go to the bathroom. I guess, you know, in a roundabout way, that's not untrue. That's true.
I don't know. I find that weird. I feel like I would give my money to somebody who would need it, you know, like to a podcast that would need it, not to, but you know,
like the GoNintendo podcast.
Well, that's what he was trying to slightly get at, but we don't want your money.
That wasn't,
and you couldn't give it anyway.
I swear that.
Oh, really?
I wasn't being sarcastic.
I take it back.
I was.
What podcast then?
Any podcast that you like that doesn't have a millionaire at the helm. I don't understand why he needs the money.
Well, I think people just assume that if they, you know, keep giving him money, he'll never stop making the
money.
content.
Yeah, you give your money to the things you support. You want to support them
because they
also
their money matters.
Well, this is a whole different conversation.
In a way, it does, but in a way,
that we won't get into. Well, it does. We just learned the man had over $600,000 stolen from him. So, and they were all from user donations.
Those donations. So
thinking
about just how much, like,
he got it back.
Oh, nice.
I'd imagine no one's donating if they don't have the money, right? Like, there's no broke people donating, right? Knock on wood.
No, there's definitely going to be people.
That's
who
what drives me crazy.
Yeah, but the problem isn't with the podcast host. The problem was with that person. They clearly got something going on that needs to be figured out. Oh, we'll wait. Should we wait for you?
You mean they're
okay?
They're just bad at managing their money.
All right. Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Go Nintendo. Oh my God.
Come back. Give me money.
Go Nintendo podcast. Webisode 873. The Frosmoth podcast. MomBrain, would you tell us about Frosmoth, please?
And I hope Frosmoth.
I guess it's Frosmoth, right? Because it kind of looked like a moth when I saw it. So
or it's Frosmoth.
Frosmoth
at the mouth.
Very Frosmoth. Frosmoth senses air currents with its antenna. It sends its scales drifting on frigid air, making them fall like snow.
Like, what do you
Like
want me to
the
say
rain?
something?
Like, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
They're 4 feet tall. They're 92 pounds. They're male and female. And the category is, of course. It's, of course, Frosmoth.
You're like that guy on TikTok I like. The guy that uses a
Oh,
filter.
No, that's bad.
I've been hanging out with my friend, and I've been doing my studies.
I can't. Abilities include shield dust.
That's not the guy who sings, is it?
Okay. Protective dust shields the Pokemon from the additional effects of moves. End of Pokemon section.
Thank you, MomBrain. I appreciate it. MomBrain's here.
Hi, everybody.
Kirby's here.
Hey, everybody.
NickyHill is here.
Hi.
Do is here.
Cuckoo.
We got a regular who's who of the
What
podcast.
have you been playing, Rummy?
Oh, not yet. We will talk about that. Of course, Josh Grobot is here. Josh.
I'm feeling
well,
so
let me do
great.
this.
Thanks for asking.
George is here, of course. George, how are you doing?
Moving on.
Oh,
Buongiorno.
I hope you're feeling lime today, George.
I'm feeling tears of the. Yes, I'm feeling lime.
George, you're the best. You're the best. Before we go anywhere else, go into other things.
I love the font of Tears of the Kingdom. It's very lime colored font.
Is it, George? Is it lime colored?
It's more like lime juice.
It's like tan, isn't it?
Color.
Yeah, I guess
Oh,
that's
here's the
similar.
green.
Sure.
It's green. It's green. Look it up. I'm pretty sure it's green.
The font.
Sorry, I thought this was a Nintendo themed podcast.
Wait, the font in Tears of the Kingdom is green.
Well, it's got a halo. It's
very-
got a glow to it.
Oh,
shade of
not
green.
not the
Got a glow to it.
Oh,
shade of green.
not the font, the like emblem or the
That's what I
logo. I
meant.
thought font, as in letters, font.
Well, it
Depends on where you look
I
at it.
don't want to be here.
These
I was
letters here
going to
are
give you
font.
crap for calling that brown, but
No.
but-
I said tan. I said tan.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
I'm a tan man.
I'm a tan man.
I'm a tan man.
I was going to say before we get into anything else, there's plenty to talk about. But Josh, we have a special request from a fan of the show, Nico Darunia. They say, "Hi, Josh. Do you think you can sing the birthday song for me? I turned 30 on Monday. 3 years ago, Josh sang the birthday song for his very first time for my birthday. Actually, what an honor!
And this will be the very last time.
Hold on. I'm gonna hate this. Do you think this year Josh and George can duet? Well, George, will you?
Hey, you were in show choir.
George is thinking about it.
I'm the star of the show.
Yikes.
Pitch, please.
All right, we got it. Josh, you lead the way. George will join in with you.
I am the world's best singer.
Wow, that was,
It was-
way better than I thought that was going to be.
Even better than I could have guessed. Holy crap. Whoa! George with the whistle tones. Man, that was great. Hi, 8-Bit Lego and Highland Tom and Burn and Cheese and William George and Red Souza and Giant Reggie and Zikamuto and Ice Dilbert and Malik Halo and Anastasia Beaverhausen.
Hey, happy Teacher Appreciation Week. I don't know if you celebrate it across the pond, but it was this past week here.
And Gecko Kitsune and whoever else pops in. I had a feeling this show might have fewer people than usual because people are busy doing something this weekend. Hi, Dre. Good to see you.
Oh my God, I forgot the game.
I'll be back in a jiffy. So thanks for joining us, those who are here. Oh, hi, Sleepy Sean. Hello, Frogger. Good to see you.
Oh.
Look at Sleepy Sean. That is cute.
He looks comfy.
Yes, thanks. Oh, I see you, Solid Master. Like I knew you from the GIF and I didn't even see your name. Yes, that seems like a great way to do it. 8-Bit Lego. I know people are into gaming and listening to podcasts or music or whatever at the same time. Hello, Super Blast X. I would be very much against that for a personal choice, but I would not tell others what to do. So if that's your jam, then jam on, my friends. So we got some things to talk about before we get into, obviously, the big topic of the day. But we will, when we talk about Tears of the Kingdom, we will not give story spoilers. I guess I don't really think we're going to give gameplay spoilers. Like, we won't name major locations or anything like that. But we'll talk about, gameplay mechanics and our experiences with those. So, I'll give another warning before we get into it, actually, but there's your pre-warning. But like I said, there's other things I want to talk about first. I don't know what just happened to me. I completely forgot how to do the show. All right. Here's a topic of discussion that I want to mention very quickly because I saw it bubble up in a few places, actually.
Go ahead. Sorry.
There has been some chatter about the podcast soundboard. Now,
Chatter, not cheddar.
Not chatter. Do, as you would probably agree, I would think you and I believe a soundboard to be a major part of any podcast or radio platform. We really enjoy it.
Oh, yeah, I love a soundboard.
Well,
no, there's not detractors for the whole
people
soundboard.
who don't like the soundboard and they feel it ruins discussion.
We use it so sparingly, though, don't
correct.
I would say MomBrain does a fantastic job. MomBrain, look at me. I do not want you to change what you do one bit at all.
Thank you.
I did a little.
But nothing. I mean,
you didn't have to say that because I wouldn't. So,
but nothing would change anyway because the sound bites are in here, and we still say them when they're not being played.
Yeah.
So it's kind of.
And we say them when we're not at the table.
I have heard people say it's too loud, so I will work on that. We adjusted it this week to make it quieter. That's a valid complaint.
So these people, you said, "Oh, you don't like the soundboard," and I
told them
they
sound
said,
off.
Oh, there you go.
So, listen, if you don't like the soundboard, I get it. It's everybody's got a right to like or dislike something, but we will not be getting rid of the soundboard. I take great joy in the soundboard, and I personally love a
it's
soundboard.
It's a staple of the show,
and I don't think it's overused.
You know what I say to those people?
So,
if it makes you feel any better, MomBrain, nobody said anything until last week. And who was doing the soundboard last week?
There was a comment last week that spawned a conversation all over the place. But I wanted to say your concerns have been read. They are heard. They make me sad. But I will support the soundboard.
1/5 of us give a shovel about your concerns.
If you had things about like, this soundbite is offensive or something, I would listen to those complaints and take those into consideration. If you don't like the soundboard, I will say, I apologize. If it takes you out of the experience, I apologize for that as well. But I feel the soundboard is an important part of the show. we all enjoy it. And we feel if it wasn't there, we'd be missing something. So
Yeah, we would. We'd be missing Josh.
Josh isn't soundboard. Josh is a robot. What the hell are you talking about? Josh, I'm
so
sorry.
What I
sorry.
sound like.
Josh, oh, now he's having a crisis.
Existential
Existential
crisis.
crisis. Josh, no,
Why
don't
would
listen
you
to.
say that?
Oh
Are
God,
you saying
Josh.
Josh sounds like a computer?
I haven't heard him like this since Rosie left him.
That story was boring. and
Okay, all right,
dumb.
he's back on track.
Wow, look at that cat bed.
So I
He's-
just wanted to talk about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll adjust volume. We'll give it a shot this week, see how it goes, and take it from there.
Man, so you got a
Smash that
lot of people,
subscribe
huh?
button.
A lot of people saying that, or
I don't want to say a lot. It wasn't like thousands of people, but it was more than I would have expected. Oh, so I didn't say this. So I went on a little reconnaissance mission, and I went through all different podcasts, Nintendo related, gaming related, game site related, IGN, popular podcasts in general that have soundboards, Stern discussions, H3 discussions. I went all over the place to hunt out people complaining about soundboards, and they all had them. So I was like, all right, this isn't an us thing. This
How do
isn't
you
everybody
hunt that
thing.
out?
There's a thing called Google, and you put terms in Google, and it spits back results.
That's what they call a search engine.
So that's what I did. And sometimes I'll include the word Reddit in the post or in the search, because then I'll go directly to usually the forum of diehard fans that are into whatever this may be. And they all had threads about how they hate the soundboard, how it ruins discussions, how it's overused, how it's blah, blah, blah. all
Oh,
that
you
stuff.
have to look at the 8-bit Lego.
Hi, Jesus. Good to see it. It needs to be louder. Louder sounds.
Oh.
Is that a hamster
We will
ball?
dial in. We will dial in the volume week by week, people. Oh my God, that hamster's really cute.
Two guinea pigs.
Or guinea pigs. So sorry. How embarrassing.
They're
Look at 'em.
guanas.
I would like to hear them squeal. Yes, that's not them squealing. William George, beautiful cat. Hello, Alternist Liz. Good to see you. Oh, look at this basket picture of a cat from Alternist Liz.
They say one was sleeping, but they thought I had food, so they woke up.
Hi, Tent Division.
Lucy
Lovely,
and Ethel is their names.
lovely Kirby house for a cat. That's
I
great.
know, that's
Aw.
great.
Great stuff. By the way, guys, again, thank you for joining us today live when either you're playing the game, you're playing Tears of the Kingdom right now, or you're not a Zelda fan. But anyway, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I was
Guinea
playing it
pigs?
maybe like 10 minutes before I got here.
Are guinea pigs mini capybaras? Are they?
No.
If you wish hard enough, yes.
Oh my God.
I mean, they're the same thing. Yeah, sure,
Right,
why
they
not?
are though.
Oh, can I play the sound of them? The 8-bit Lego put a
Yeah.
sound.
It's not going to come through your laptop, but
Well, should I play it first without it coming through the laptop?
I
Oh, I'll
hope
play
8-bit
it.
Lego didn't say anything inappropriate.
It's
I know
pretty
that's very
happy.
quiet for you guys, but I can see that you hear it. That was the sound of a joyous guinea pig.
We used to have guinea pigs, and if you crinkled a bag anywhere near them, that's the sound they made because they thought you had hay or parsley.
Or some kind of vegetables.
Yeah.
Yes, they loved it. Wee, 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 wee. They were great.
Really, they're
They were great.
they're wonderful pets. The only
They
downside
stink.
is they do stink a little. Their pee stinks. And it's kind of a pain to clean their cage because
Yeah,
It's
I
like a
remember having
lot.
to do that all the time
yeah,
in grade school.
But they're popcorning. Makes up for it.
when they
Come on.
jump because they're all excited,
So good.
they're great.
All right. One other thing I want to talk about, not related to video. Oh, no, two things. One related to video games, one not. Oh, Nicky Hill's got a problem. Go ahead, Nicky Hill.
Oh,
Go ahead. You host the show. What do you want to talk about?
more things. Let's hear it.
I want to talk about this because
Is it
as
game related?
this one isn't. You want me to just go game related? I'll skip.
No, I'm just. messing
This
around.
one is related to something I am very passionate about.
Oh boy.
Milk. Has anybody heard about the insane backlash that not insane, wrong word. The intense backlash that Aubrey Plaza is getting for her milk commercial.
She did a milk commercial.
Never
So
heard
there's
of
a
it.
new milk campaign. So when we were kids, it was Got Milk, and celebrities were in commercials with
Is she saying don't drink milk?
milk mustaches, milk quote unquote.
Oh, she's got a mustache down below. That's what they did.
That's the new campaign. No, so now Big Milk has got a new commercial
Big Milk?
campaign,
It sounds like a rapper.
and it's basically making
Me, Big
fun.
Milk.
That'd be a great rap name. They have a new campaign where they're basically making fun of people who drink oat milk and soy milk and all that, and making fun of those
Oh.
milks in general. So Aubrey is in a commercial for Wood Milk, about how wood
Oh,
milk
I
is
did see
essential.
that.
Blah, blah,
but
blah, blah.
was that a
Then
real commercial?
It's 100% real, funded by Big Milk.
Oh,
whatever
they
the
mean
milk.
wood like an erection? That's disgusting. That is
They
disgusting.
don't. People
Ew.
would
Oh.
probably be mad at that, but also some people would find it funny. This just seems to make everybody angry. So
Oh, no.
now, me as a traditional milk lover, when I saw this commercial, I was like, "Oh, that's lame. Why is she doing that?" I was like, "Why?" So Milk's campaign is basically all other milks suck, and you're stupid for liking them. Only drink regular milk. So cow milk, traditional milk.
I saw it somewhere, probably on
Trad
TikTok or
milk.
something, and I didn't even watched the whole thing, which means that's why I didn't know it was an actual ad.
Mm.
I thought it was like a parody from some sketch comedy thing from some like
So you didn't realize
years
it was
ago.
real?
I
'cause
thought
it's
it was.
kinda-
I thought it was like a terrible parody commercial.
It is a
And
real.
It's a terrible
milk
real commercial.
Yeah, and I was just like, I don't know why the people behind the advertising for milk have decided to take the route of belittling people who
Who do you work for,
already
milk?
have decided they can't drink milk or don't want to drink milk. Like you're gonna woo them back by being like, "You're stupid, drink milk."
Well, is that what the goal is? Because like
No.
it certainly can't be to reassure milk drinkers that they're making the right purchase because they're not going to change no matter
Yeah,
what.
no,
They've been
it's-
drinking milk forever,
So
and they're
then
going
who's
to keep
it at?
going.
It's gonna get regular milk drinkers to buy more milk to be like, yeah, take that, almond freaks.
I'm team milk. I'm sure there are people who are like that. I don't need your oat. Like,
Please,
you
your
guys
milk
know
in it.
I don't like oat, soy, all those milks, but I'm not like, get them out of the market and people that
Well,
drink them are stupid.
Like
They're fine. I just don't like them.
I appreciate having another option, number one, for the cows and for the environment. Number two, as someone who has genetically, like in my family, very high cholesterol, that's like a problem for people in my family. So I just can so easily replace milk with milk substitutes, and I don't have to like go crazy looking for it, And what about people who like have an
Lactose
allergy
intolerant?
or
That's the thing. It's
like-
so tone deaf to all the reasons why people would drink it. Sure, there are some people who just don't like the taste of milk and they go with oat milk or soy or whatever. That's fine. But there's so many other legitimate reasons.
Like that's a very common allergy.
So I don't know why. There's another actress, Emma Roberts, is in another one that's basically the same kind of thing. I don't know why they've decided to do this. So now Aubrey Plaza is getting a ton of backlash for being in this commercial.
Oh, leave her
'cause
alone. She's very sensitive.
She doesn't seem like someone who would take. It's odd that she's in the commercial. To
Remember
me,
when
I
she
don't
was on-
think so. I think they
She
were
got paid
like,
for it.
they were like, she's the safest one. If we're
She's-
gonna roast non-milk drinkers, she's the safest one because her shtick is she's like can go at people and act all like aloof like that or mean or teasing or whatever the shtick is, but like people still like her. They're like, oh, that's just her thing, and they probably made a real conscious effort to get her to do that commercial. Why she did it? Money.
Well,
I
then
mean,
that's
come
the
on.
other thing.
I'd say oat milk sucks for money.
I'd say they ignore the fact that everybody loves her in the role she's playing because the roles are just roles, whereas this is an ad for a company trying to get you to buy something. Like, how can you not see how people would be upset with one and not upset with the others? Like, nobody's upset with Aubrey Plaza and the acting she's done in movies because,
Well,
she's just in a role.
as to how they didn't think people would be upset, that I can't tell you because you reviewed Sonic
Gonna
and
get us
people were
claimed.
upset. So it's kind of like,
It's true.
of course people are going to be upset about this. You think these companies would have teams working around the clock to be like, what's the safest milk commercial we can make?
They're not looking for safe though. They're looking
to have teams working around the clock to be like, what's the safest milk commercial we can make?
They're not looking for safe though. They're looking for
Edgy.
They want in your
want-
face.
They want to do something that's viral. So
Yeah.
they're going to do something that's
Oh,
like
they
a
got
joke,
it.
and they're going to get somebody who's known for being sarcastic.
8-bit
and stuff.
Lego is eating ice cream right now.
Well,
Oh,
what
Aubrey
stinks
Plaza,
about
not for
this
it.
is I can't imagine there's people out there who are like, well, I'm not drinking milk anymore because of this commercial. So it's basically just
Think of all the people
Aubrey
who aren't
Plaza
drinking
getting
Budweiser
crapped on
or
while
weren't.
people still drink milk.
I could easily imagine there are people like that, but I would also easily imagine they are very, 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 very few and far between.
Well, you would be one if you were offended by the commercial, but you
I would
weren't,
be.
luckily. So
I was offended by the commercial, but I'm not gonna it's just a bad commercial choice. Like, I'm not gonna stop drinking milk because it's not.
I'm not going to go down this road. Don't
No.
worry.
It's not offensive. Like it's not like they're like,
You know what was a better advertisement for milk that featured Aubrey Plaza when she was on that episode of Hot Ones and she was like snorting the milk up her nose.
Right? Just put the milk logo over
Yeah.
that, and that's it.
The Super
Nicky Hills, what's up?
Sanchez just said, listening while playing
Milk.
Talk, Tears of the Kingdom.
TotK.
TikTok. We've been building up to this game for years and didn't even know it. They named it Tears of the Kingdom so that it fit in with the
Well, then
Well,
what does
the
the
most
TIK
popular
stand for?
app
Calm down.
right now.
Calm down. No offense to you or Super Sanchez. It's TOTK. He just got it wrong.
Yes.
That's what it's been this whole time. So
Well,
it's
not everybody,
it's okay.
not everybody abbreviates the T.
He's right.
Not everybody does, but that doesn't mean we've been building to this.
Yes.
Now that it means the opposite.
8-Bit Lego, I've been curious about. Hi, Tall Show. Thanks for always sending that picture.
They didn't need to know
I've been
the
curious
Tears
about
of
that
the
Star Crunch ice cream for a while now. I just haven't had it yet. All right, so there's the milk thing.
I
just wanna
looked for
talk
those
about
cosmic
big milk.
cupcakes again.
There's the milk thing.
Not. Don't even get me started on people that say that. We know people. Will
You
say
know,
that.
there's milk coming in the Walmart order because I knew that
Oh no.
I like to
someone
drink
was
milk.
putting-
I,
I didn't get a lot. I got
water.
just a little.
milk and pillow. People say milk and pillow.
My best friend in the
Water,
whole wide world
pillow.
says those things.
Put
Milk.
them down.
I
Pillow?
Take them out.
Milk and pillow. Yeah, people say those.
like pillow.
yeah.
Yeah. Also, like milk. We're saying milk.
I mean that I get.
What do you mean you get it?
Oh,
Milk.
No.
Moving on.
Ernest is Miak.
Miak. Yeah. Moving on to the thing that is video game related. Here
Moving
is
on.
a rant for you. What was that, Josh?
Moving on.
Thank you, Josh.
Moving on. For milk. Huh?
Oh, the cream rises. This is about video games, and it's about The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Can you
Talk.
believe it?
TotK.
We
It is
can-
about TotK. TotK. This is an
I
article.
should give up on
This
that.
is an article from Kotaku. Been the internet darling for the last few weeks. Article. The article's title. No, I will not be waiting in a Zelda Tears of the Kingdom line. Thank you.
Okay. Next article.
We did it. Woo!
So what do? I read the article just to make sure my frustration is valid. Read the whole thing. So basically, this whole article, minus the last paragraph.
Please tell me the last paragraph is the exact reason why they will be waiting in line.
No, they didn't do that. They didn't do that. The whole article is like, guys, you can get the game digitally or purchase it online. Why would you wait in the line?
Oh my God. What year is it? Obviously.
Well,
So
I mean,
I will.
what?
That's
We're living in the
the whole
past.
article minus the last paragraph.
Ugh,
I will read the last paragraph in
God.
full. But perhaps despite my decidedly grinchy attitude about waiting in long lines for a video game, people are happily queuing for Tears of the Kingdom for the vibes, y'all. They've waited 6 years for a sequel to Breath of the Wild. What's a few sweaty hours more, especially in the company of your fellow diehard fans? Okay, so
this
here's the
person-
thought process. You think all of this in your head, and then you go, maybe I'm being grinchy, and they're there because they're excited. You got to the right conclusion. Now you don't write the article.
Right?
You
that-
figured it out. You're
Yeah.
like, maybe I'm being a Grinch.
Or just take
Or
that.
take that stance and start from there and be like, I saw these people and I was like, what are these assholes doing? Wait, maybe I'm being grinchy. And then realize I got to change my thought process.
So
but
they-
instead, 9/10.
They changed their
1/10,
opinion while writing the article.
Yes.
Apparently.
Yes. Then if you write that as your last paragraph, you're like, maybe I shouldn't publish this,
They
or maybe
just-
I should rewrite it, or
they
maybe
just
this
need
is a more
content.
interesting jumping point for the article.
I mean, they don't really believe that, right? This is just content, right? This is just junk that they
You
have
know,
to write. Like, come on. Like, come
What's
on.
worse, to write it and not think it, or to think it and write it?
I'm not
5
defending
things to
it. I'm
do while
just
waiting
saying.
in
No,
line.
it's an
It
honest
can't be
question. Yeah,
real.
right? Which one is worse? I don't know which would bother me more. The
It could've
person who
been a-
actually thinks it and writes it, or the person who doesn't actually think it and writes it.
Well, you did write a lot of beard articles.
Which would bother me more? The
It could've
person who
been a-
actually thinks it and writes it, or the person who doesn't actually think it and writes it?
Well, you did write a lot of beard articles you didn't believe in.
I did, but I never was like, barefaced people are morons for not growing facial hair.
line at the barber to get
Yeah.
it clipped. Not me.
You could wash your beard at home.
I got a razor at home.
Yeah, mine was like, well, to be fair, when I was writing the articles for Top Golf, I was writing about 5 cute cats that you can't miss. And why? Because that's
Well-
the direction they wanted on the golf blog.
but yeah, I mean
That's
a
another
little,
argument.
Yeah, that's a little less.
So yeah, I
Who
read
is
this
this person? How old are they? Have they ever waited in line?
I'm
like,
not here
I'm sorry.
to name names. I told you the article and where it comes from. That's that. I don't know anything else about them.
because I would wonder if they ever stood in
They
line.
ever experienced joy in their life.
Was
Well,
there ever
yeah.
an article that you wrote, or I guess it's an article more? It's like a list of like
I have a problem
the-
with saying articles. Well, I would say post. In
the
general.
top 5 gag golf balls. Or
I
something?
don't remember writing that. Are you
Like
asking
exploding
me?
golf balls and
No,
Yeah.
no. The amount of golf content I wrote for that golf blog was.
I know, but that just sounds
Almost
like a great
non-existent.
list, right? Like, why not
I'll pitch it
publish
to them.
that?
I still got their contacts. It'll be like time to
Nice.
start the top
Um,
golf blog again.
Yeah.
You know that whole like meme or whatever of this meeting could have been an email.
Mm.
Like
Mm.
that article could have been a tweet. Like that,
Yes.
or just a thought. Leave it
Yeah.
as a thought and throw it
Yes,
away.
yes.
Thought. Yeah, that's a good
That's
idea.
right. Now, I'm not saying don't write whatever you want. You can write whatever you want. I'm not the arbiter of what should be written and what shouldn't. Go ahead. I'm just shocked that Kotaku, an outlet that has a very sizable reach and audience, and there's, checks and balances for who writes what, and let's put this out there. Along the line, I don't know how the chain of command works now, but I would imagine you can't just willy-nilly write whatever you want and put it out there. This had to be approved by someone, or someone else read it and passed off on it. Was like, yeah, go ahead. This is fine. And then they put that out there. What the hell's going on over there? What's going on? This whole article doesn't make this whole post doesn't make any sense. Like,
Yeah. No, I mean it doesn't. It's 90% of what's out there
if
now
they
as
if they
news.
took that stance and argued top to bottom and were like and said that sentiment without the maybe I'm the Grinch, I would hate the article. I would still say it can exist, but I'd understand its existence more. This whole article is why this, why that, why are they doing this?
This is why.
It's a me thing.
Yeah.
It's a me thing. Okay. Then spend the article talking about how you went through that thought process. That's the interesting part. But that doesn't get people reading. What gets people reading? Why are they doing this? This is online now. They could be home getting this. Why you want to wait in line? Why you want to be sweaty outside in line?
Ugh.
I do agree with the outside part. All that stuff. But because
not
that's
the
what
sweaty
gets
part?
people to click. So
You know what I would like to just say? One of
I would like
one of my fondest memories is spending the night outside Nintendo NY, sleeping on the sidewalk. I'll never forget asking Sean the Savage if they belched, but it was really just a bag of jerky they had opened. I was like, "Are you belching?
The memories
Like, what is
that
going
matter.
on?" There just
memories
was.
that'll last.
I mean, and I
lifetime.
slept like a goddamn baby on a sidewalk in Manhattan. Like,
I did not.
We recorded a mini podcast. while
yeah,
we were
like
there.
there's just something
Though you
about that being in the line and
the
the
community of
excitement.
it.
Yeah. There's
you don't
something
remember
great.
you don't look
For
back
the vibes,
fondly,
man.
That's right. You
For
don't
the
look
vibes.
For the
you don't
vibes.
look back fondly on like the being hot or cold or tired or hungry or all that. You look at all of it as an experience and you're like, I was there with all these people sharing the same excitement with
Yeah.
friends who I love and care. Like,
Was that the one Kirby didn't? Was that the release where we went to the bar across the street?
No, that was.
I
the
remember
Wii.
doing that, but I can't remember.
That was the Wii release when we were waiting outside of. We waited at Toys R Us in
And then
Times
we-
Square,
and
and then
then-
went
yes.
over to Nintendo World Store.
Yes.
Sleeping
from
on the
sun
street
went
was when
down
we
to
when
the
we saw
sun goes up.
Miyamoto.
Yeah.
And they brought the people from Nintendo NY brought pizza out
Yeah.
for us.
Highly
and
Tom
like,
says y'all did an amazing podcast in line at Nintendo World Store very early in the life of Nintendo. We remember it.
I texted Ramit. I was this close to going to the Nintendo NY on Thursday night because I was like, "What am I like? I'm just sitting
Al
here.
Newman
I'm-
was
I'm
there.
I'm up
Doug
right
Bowser
now.
was there.
I didn't know they were there until the next day when I saw articles. But I was like, I mean,
That bus they had.
Would have
I'm-
been cool
I'm
to
a
see Al
few-
Newman.
I'm I'm not far.
yeah.
In 40 minutes I can be there, and I turned off my alarm on my house. Like I had changed my clothes. I was ready to go out. At like right before grabbing the doorknob to the door, I was like, but I gotta pay for parking, and I'm gonna pay like twice the
Oh, no.
amount for the
Yeah.
game just to park. I don't want to do that. So I walked away, set my
Welcome to
alarm,
40.
and went to
Mm.
sleep.
You know?
Yeah, I just I
It was
didn't-
funny because it was in a span of 10 minutes. He sent me texts of like, I think I should go. I'm going to go. I'm not going anymore.
I was
Meanwhile,
really
you
gonna
probably
go
haven't even,
because
didn't even get to read any of them till the whole conversation
I was
over.
playing Zelda while he was texting.
because
me, too.
I was just like we haven't done that. I haven't done something like that since the release of the Wii. And why not? Because it's an
Yeah.
experience. There's things going on. I didn't know that they were doing that, like that they were going to be there. But like, I probably would have gone there and been like, "Hey, cool,
What
you work
happened?
here." And then it's Doug Bowser. I'm like, "Oh, he doesn't work there. He works at Nintendo Corporate."
He
He
sold the
works
first
there.
copy of the
I see,
game,
yeah.
so he kind of worked there for a little bit. So yeah, no hate towards the author of this article, and no hate towards Kotaku. Like, don't go yell at them or anything. It's their outlet; they can publish whatever they want. I was just questioning the thought process behind the article, because again, Du brought up a great point. Is it really what they think, or are they just writing it to get attention? I don't know, but either one makes me sad.
Got a
so-
quota. They got to fill their quota.
It just seems like, if it really is what they think, it just seems like a strange thing to kind of get up in arms about. Because it's not like you have to. It's not like Nintendo says, in order to get the game, you have to line up at midnight. It's kind of like if you want
Yeah.
to, you do, and if you don't, you order it online. Like, so why even write the art? Like, why get upset about it? Why do
Because
we
they
always
can't
have to
fathom that
be
people
negative
wouldn't
about
do
this
what
stuff?
they do. Like, they can't fathom people would go to do that for fun
Well, this
or to
person-
get an
They do
experience.
though.
Never
They
stayed
can
in line
fathom that
for
because
anything.
they wrote about it.
And if any game's going to get a midnight release, it's going to be Legend of Zelda. I'm sorry, it as a writer for a video game, like, you should know video games. It's probably the most important video game to, like, I mean, come on,
Well,
who over the years, every single midnight launch, like, I don't know.
Here's the other
They
thing.
know. They know.
There's been a whole
It's
bunch of
just-
articles, and I wrote about it as well. I can't remember the last time I saw a game launch like Tears of the Kingdom. There were lines at retailers across the globe. When was the last time you saw people line up to get just a game? Hardware launches, definitely. Just a game? 15 years ago? 10 years ago? I don't know.
I
Like,
didn't
it's
expect it to be
I
that
couldn't tell you.
crazy.
especially in the day of digital, for people to still go out and do that because they're excited.
They're doing it because they want the experience.
It was here in the States. It was in the UK. It was across Europe. It was in Japan. And I'm not just saying that. We have pictures of all these places all over the world where there are long lines of people
they're fake. They're
to go
AI
get the game.
generated.
Oh yeah, probably.
And it's awesome to see that kind of excitement. And I was honestly blown away by it because I thought that kind of thing outside of hardware releases was over. But Tears of the Kingdom brought it back, which is great. So this resonated with people on that level. They went out there and did this kind of thing on a grand scale. So I was really happy to see that. Now, I wasn't going to go stand in line to get it because I really haven't bought physical stuff anymore. But I would, like, if a friend wanted to do it, I'd be all about it.
We were lamenting that we didn't. We work on the biggest Nintendo podcast in New Jersey, in
the country,
in a very
in the country.
specific county of New Jersey. We're the hugest, and we didn't even know that GameStop did midnight launches. We were kind of like bummed,
Yeah,
because it would have been fun to just go.
I was going to go into New York.
I'm sorry,
and
I didn't know you knew or
it's
didn't
not
know.
your
I could have
fault.
gone to multiple GameStops in my area, and I didn't even think about it. I did
Nintendo-
not think it was that big of a release.
Me
for
either.
some
I didn't
reason-
think they did midnight releases anymore.
For
so.
games-
My whole thought, especially with GameStop, is like nobody comes to these stores anymore. If people buy our stock, that's wherever, blah blah blah. Like we're going the way of whatever, something that's dying off. So blah blah blue blah.
Yeah, GameStop in general did midnight launches as long as they had staff, but Nintendo GameStop partnered for special midnight launches at a few locations as well, where they had special people and giveaways there. That too. Hold on one second before it goes away. Rosemary the Farmer says my sister is still waiting on her digital download order from Target. It's been over 24 hours and still nothing. I've been there when I've ordered like a digital eShop code from Target or Walmart. I don't remember. and I ordered 3 of them, and I got 2 right away, and I didn't get the next one until the next day. So I don't know why
Weird.
that stuff happens, but yeah. Yes, MomBrain, go ahead.
I'm just having a revelation because Hailey and Tom said, you alluded to this in your Patreon post, people are happy. This is a rare happy event.
Patreon.com/GoNintendo.
And I agreed, saying like, you know, let people be happy, let them love something together in community. And it's making me think like, have we reached the point where the only attention we give is to when people hate something in community?
Yeah. How disheartening is it that a message of let people enjoy things is a message that's like rare to
But,
hear,
like,
and
there's
it's like
something
revelatory.
There's something more special about enjoying something in community, like post-pandemic. It was always special and always important, but like for Read Across America, the whole school, all the kids, we all sat, and the teachers, everybody in the building sat in the hallway and read together for like a half an hour. And it was like teachers were like welling up because it was like the first time we had done something all together in one place in so long, and it felt so good for everyone to be together doing the same thing, enjoying each other's company, and like that I have goosebumps.
That's one of my favorite things. Yeah. You know, I've said it plenty of times before, and not, post-pandemic.
And I hate people. Like, I don't like to be around people.
But where we are now in the pandemic. Before the pandemic with Endgame, that going to the theater with that crowd where people were literally sitting on the floor because there weren't seats.
That.
That's one of my favorite memories, if not my favorite.
The
just
fire hazard part of it?
Yeah,
You like
that
the
many
safe part of it,
people in that theater, like cheering and screaming and crying and being excited. Like everybody there, you could literally feel the energy. You're like, this is massive. It was awesome. And I don't know that I will ever experience anything like that again, but at least with that intensity.
Not if you keep going to movies so early.
That's right. It is. That's right. But like, I don't want to say post-pandemic, later in the pandemic, when movies started opening again and we saw Black Widow, I'll never forget seeing that, because I was like, this is surreal. We're here. We're seeing a movie that's been delayed for so long, but also we're just in a theater. This is nuts. I remember like going into a gas station
on our way to
after our
vacation,
first shot, and we were all like, everybody's going to be great now. And we didn't wear a mask, and just walking into, a smelly convenience store, I was like, this is amazing. This is unbelievable.
We've arrived.
But
Science is amazing.
Those moments of like shared experiences where everybody's excited for or looking forward to something and enjoying that joy with others is something I love to such a high degree.
So not to get
fantastic.
like, too in the weeds about it, but when we look at like little children, we start to identify that they are developmentally not on track when they don't want to participate in joint attention, shared experiences. So when young children aren't showing signs of wanting people to participate with them in something, that's when we know that like we should probably look a little harder, do some more evaluations. Like that's a developmental milestone.
So their own stuff though, not like, teachers making you do something.
Well, that's learned really. Like,
I didn't want any of that in school.
No, but like when a little kid isn't like attempting to like get you to look at the thing they're doing, or like knowing at least like they may not know what the grownups are looking at, but if they see that all the grownups are paying attention to something, they pay attention too.
So like what I still do with you every day. Like
well,
today.
You do
like,
all.
Look at this.
You do it all the time. You do it all the time, and it's funny because often
it's a true joy, right?
That's right. Often when I hear you laugh, I know, and I'm not in the same room as you, I know the next thing I'm going to hear is you say, "Come here, you got to see this," like because you.
I showed her that Daft Punk song today because that song blows me away, man. Something about that song that gets me at my core. Like something about the sound and the lyrics and just the vibe of all of it. It just, man, it really does it for me.
My point is that's like a fundamental part of the human experience, is like acknowledging that other people can participate in something with you and like knowing that has meaning.
But you're missing the big differentiator, which is many people are like that when it comes to what they like, but when it comes to things they don't like, they can't see why other people like those things, and they hate that people like those
But
things.
little kids haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
Also, I think there are people who think of waiting in line for any reason. They, they think of it as a chore. They think of it as like, sitting in heavy traffic.
Yeah.
Where they're like, why would you do that if you had the option not to?
Yeah.
I also just think that this person wrote that article because they're like, man, this is going to get so many people clicking, whether they are like, why is this person's opinion this way? Or, yeah, I want to see all the reasons they think those people waiting in line are stupid because I think it's stupid. So like, it's just,
I mean, if they wanted to get even more clicks, why not just title the article, or sorry, the post, Tears of the Kingdom is a stupid game for dummies.
I'm sure
or
there's
just
something out there
name
that's
the
very
post
close to that.
Bazooms.
I saw another article that was like,
That'll get clicks.
I'm paraphrasing, but it said it's good to have really low scores for a game, and it's not good to have a whole bunch of high scores for a game. And I'm like, well, that's certainly one way of dumbing everything down. How about it's good to have honest reviews? We could say that. That'd be great. But all low scores or all high scores don't necessarily mean that something fishy's going on here. It means a lot of people don't like something, or a lot of people like something.
You need to do something about honesty in game journalism.
For like 25 outlets to give like something a 9 out of 10 and one outlet to give something a 2 out of 10, to look at the 2 out of 10 and be like, this guy's telling the truth. Like, what the hell is your thought process? Why would you think that? Like, like, I want to know why this guy's giving it a 2, not like this guy's telling the truth and these other ones are liars.
Kind of feel like editors, not necessarily that website, but like in general, across the board, the only thing that they actually read are their pay stubs. Am I right?
Oh
man.
Am I right? Because they don't actually go to the bank. Because who would waste their time going to a bank for a deposit?
I saw that.
Read my article on that.
Lines at banks. Highly Tom was mentioning my Patreon post from last night, because I said there are certain times when I'm covering content online where I can feel like a hush in the activity. And usually it's related to a holiday somewhere. So it'll be like a bank holiday in the UK or something like that. And news is quieter than usual because people are on holiday or taking a break from work or whatever, and they're just not doing their thing. So activity isn't as active as it usually is. And I felt it strongly yesterday online, because not everybody, but a large majority of people are playing Tears of the Kingdom, and the online chatter kind of lowered, and like the activity in general online was much quieter than usual because everybody's just having a good time playing this game, which is great. So it's kind of like what happened with Pokemon Go. When Pokemon Go first came out, everybody was playing that, and online got a little quieter because everybody's out there with the shared experience, enjoying it. So same kind of thing.
When it comes to reviews, I feel like, and I know this isn't the point, but I feel like Zelda's a game that doesn't need reviews. You know what I mean? I'm going to buy it. I'm going to play it. Doesn't matter what anyone else says about it. I'm going to do that. It's games that I've never heard of that need reviews so that people can convince me like, hey, you got to play this, because I probably won't. It's okay. But yeah, when it comes to Zelda, say all the crap you want. I'm still going to buy it. I know that's not the point. This is just a me thing.
Well, there is a point, like, I think there should be reviews of everything and write whatever you want. But there's a point with any franchise, be it movie, game, book, whatever, where, you get to the 28th installment. That's fantastic. And you're like, I have a feeling I can trust this franchise going forward, unless there's like seismic shifts behind the scenes. You get a feeling like when the new Mario or when the new Zelda comes out, you're going to enjoy it. So yeah, I get what you're saying.
Also, I think when I'm not looking at a review of a Zelda game to find out whether or not I should buy it, but I might look at people's reviews to find out what their experience is like compared to mine. Like
the experience.
It's not going to make or break my purchase.
The experience of something like Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild before it is very unique as well, especially Tears of the Kingdom, because there's so many different ways you can do things that I'm sure we're all going to have instances where the end goal is the same, but we all got there in such a completely different way from each other, which we're going to talk about. We could talk about it now.
I noticed it already on TikTok. I saw there was one part very early in the game that I had a little trouble with. And when I got through it, I was like, I'm the smartest guy ever. And then I watched the guy do it on TikTok, and I was like, why didn't I think of that? That was like the easiest thing to do.
So normally we would go into news, but because it's such a momentous occasion, I thought we would share our thoughts and everything about Tears of the Kingdom. Again, no spoilers from a story perspective. We will be talking gameplay mechanics, and I don't think any of us have experienced the game enough to really get into like the meat and potatoes of gameplay spoilers. So you should be okay there. We're all. Did you said you played it for 10 minutes today? Was that your entirety of your play, or that was just today?
Oh no, I what I said was I was playing it like
10 minutes
literally like 10 minutes before I arrived.
So you've
here.
played more than 10 minutes.
Yeah,
And he lives 15 minutes away.
Whoa!
Holy cow.
Just making
So
sure.
it was a switch. He was playing while he was
Are
driving.
we all off the first like Sky Island?
Yes.
Just barely.
Okay, so I just wanted to,
I'm going
And
to
I've been
excuse
playing for
myself
over 6
momentarily.
hours.
for this discussion or for another reason.
Well, I mean, the discussion, but I was going to put some lotion on my hands.
Wait, for the discussion, so you're not coming back?
Or
No, I'll be
the
back.
lotion on
I
his
just don't
skin.
need to be.
So not for the discussion.
No.
Okay.
How long does it take
See
to put
you-
lotion on
see
her
you in a
hands?
little bit.
No, I wanted to make sure she wasn't leaving to not hear things.
No, I mean.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
we're not
all I
gonna be-
wanted. That's all I wanted.
Um,
So anyway,
Can
we
I-
will be talking about the game, and then I don't know. We'll see how the show goes. I don't know what's gonna happen. We're gonna talk about Tears of the Kingdom. We'll see what time we got left after that.
What are you thinking?
Hailey and Tom,
Hate that soundboard.
same here. Hailey and Tom says I'm having severe analysis Oh, I thought that was
that's
a bird.
real nice. I did too.
Um,
Car outside, guys. I'm sorry. That's not birds being crushed.
Hailey and Tom says I'm having severe analysis paralysis with this game. Which way to go next?
Nicky
I
Hill's
mean,
worst nightmare. He lives it.
It took me forever to get off that's out of that first section because
Wait, is that the
I
same
was
as?
just kind of wandering
Choice
around
paralysis.
and taking my
Yeah.
sweet time,
been-
and then I went one
I've been
direction,
experiencing
and
that
then
too.
I went a different direction, and I think I went back the same way, and I didn't know that I went.
There's
there
no
already.
pressure. Nothing happens.
I don't
I have a
understand
burger.
why.
Do whatever you want.
Especially because you just finished Breath of the
Yeah.
Wild, so this shouldn't be like confusing to you. Like you do
No,
whatever
just
you
the
want.
Scope, it's huge.
So
That's
here's
for
the
sure.
other
You
thing.
look around and you're like, holy moly.
I will say, with Breath of the Wild, I was so wowed by just an open world Zelda. With this, you have the land from the past game, which has been greatly changed from what I've seen so far, and I've seen a tiny bit. But then you have the sky and the underground. So I haven't been like petrified in the sense that I don't know what to do or where to go because I can do whatever I want, go wherever I want. But I have been like shell shocked by the scope of what there is to do. I'm like, there's so much, and I thought Breath of the Wild had a lot, and it did. But this is like triple that, at least double that.
So what the
Already
thing-
in like the first part too, like within the
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
part of the game, you got all these new abilities, and you're like, oh my god, this is really something.
Yes.
So especially early on, before you get any abilities and stuff, the problem for me is like I'm exploring and I'm seeing things, and I don't have tools to get past certain areas. So I'm just kind of like
I'm curious
you know
about
what?
that. What tools don't you have? Because
I didn't have any of the. I didn't go to the shrines yet. I was walking around trying to
in the
get
very beginning of the
trying
game.
to get to shrines, and I was walking around, and I'm like, oh, what's over here? Oh, this is cool. And people are talking to me about how to do things, and I'm like, I don't know how to do that. You're not telling me how to do it. How do I do it? And it's because I didn't have that ability yet. So like I'm walking
Wow.
around
Only
feeling like,
Nicky Hill,
Right?
Only
I
Nicky
see.
Hill.
why only
Amazing.
me?
I don't know.
There's-
Well,
know.
We don't know. We don't know.
No,
I mean,
but,
here's
like-
the thing. I got to the one building where the guy's like, "Hey, you got to go to 3 temples first."
So
know,
you
big
went to the
deal.
3 temples,
And like the guy even says like, "Here, I'll have the camera pan over at the first temple." Like, so I went to the
There
first
is
temple.
there
Like, I
is a
don't
very
even-
unique like
I
camera
didn't-
movement. But
I
on
didn't
top of
go
that,
like straight to it, but I was
Nicky Hill,
making my
I
way.
did the same thing you did, and you know what? It brought me joy. I don't know. Like I went there. I went to places where I couldn't do anything.
No,
and
I'm
like,
not like stressed. It's just like I see things, and I'm glad you can drop stamps and stuff because like otherwise it's so huge. I would lose it and I would never get back to that place that I was. So like it's kind of like oh man, this is cool, but I can't do it. This isn't a Metroidvania game. Like I don't want to have to keep coming back to all these little
so don't.
but there's something to break open there, and I can't break it
So
open.
this is your own internal torture that you're doing. Don't go.
It's tough that
Do only the
you
main story.
It's tough that you don't want to do it, but you want to know. You know, because like for me, if I want to know, then I want to do it.
I want to explore. That's what it's about.
So yeah.
So
So
you're doing
you
that.
explore and then you're upset with what you find.
But I can't explore because I didn't have the. Now I'm a little bit better because I know that I have a tool to utilize.
I think it was just you were starting to explore a little too early. You should have just
Yeah,
But I
gotten
did the same
like
thing. Like when you start and what's his face is like, what's his Raru? He's like, go over here. I was like, see you later, asshole, and went the other way. I'm like, I'm not going where you're telling. I walked that whole thing like, and I mean walk. I didn't run it. I was like, I'm walking and I'm taking all of it in. I'm flipping over rocks and I'm climbing trees and I'm grabbing apples and I'm like, here's something. I could probably need something to get up there or do this thing. And then eventually, after I don't know what 2.5 hours of just not
What's with these giant coat hangers?
not the
everywhere?
whole like beginning thing, just like the first where you fall into the lake. I scoured that whole thing and I was like, all right, now I'll go get the thing. And then I went back and did the stuff that I saw that I couldn't get. And then you drop down a little lower onto the much bigger place. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do it again. I walked around the whole thing and looked at everything. And there was like something I couldn't get. And I'm like, oh, I know I'll get an ability to get that. And I dropped a pin, like you said, just exploring and going a million different places. And there's so much. And I can't express enough the feeling of joy I get from having so much to do and no pressure to do any of it. Just go where, like, I'm going to be playing this game for months without, probably not, but close to a month without even touching the main story. I'm a part in the main story where it's like, there's these 4 places you should go, and that's will help you find out what's up with Zelda. And I'm like, this is my breaking point. This is where I'm like, okay, now I'm definitely not doing any more story, and I'm going
I'm
wherever.
the same way. I did the one thing that I had to do to get the final thing that's going to help me get around, and then I was
I
like,
think we can talk about like the things that you get. I appreciate you taking that,
Yeah.
but like the abilities that Link
here's
gets,
the
we can
thing.
talk about that.
If anybody is listening that hasn't watched any trailers or anything,
Link is in it.
definitely don't be listening to this because I didn't watch anything. I think I saw one thing. I had no idea that
We can say the things
that you use your arm, like your hand is whatever. Like that happened in the very beginning, and I was like, "Oh, this is what I'm using."
You had no idea anything happened with Link's.
I'm telling
arm.
you, that shirt has
Oh,
the
you're right.
design.
Didn't you watch like the trailer they put out like 3 years ago or 2.5 years ago?
I mean, if I did, I don't
Did you?
remember it, and I didn't think
Okay.
that it was. It was also without the context of knowing what I did in Breath of the Wild because I hadn't played that yet.
I'll give you that.
And so, like, the Nintendo is selling a long sleeve shirt that has like the arm is like gold and stuff, and it glows in the dark. And I got
That's
into the
great.
game in the very
That's so
beginning.
cool.
There's Link's got this glowing hand with like, you know,
yeah, I
and
saw the New York City bus that's wrapped
that
with
bus
that,
is
and he's like,
amazing.
how
that
cool
bus
is that
is
bus?
the coolest bus.
I would feel so bad if I was the wrap company and I had to put a different wrap on there because you know I have to
Yeah.
change it out. Like,
Nintendo's done
oh.
other buses where I'm like, oh, that's cool, whatever. This bus I saw and I was
Thing
like,
is awesome.
that's amazing. That bus is so cool looking.
so
Wow,
I
so
did
cool.
not know, and I enjoyed it.
Well, yeah,
Like,
I agree with
caught me
Nicky
by
Hill.
surprise.
Definitely don't eat like we're not going to spoil anything big, but it's so great just going in there with nothing. Like I didn't read that book that dropped, you know, like
I
that
didn't either,
spoiler
yeah.
book. I
See,
didn't
the
see
only
any of that.
the stuff about the hand I had a good idea of. Well, there's the trailers leading up to it, obviously, but the thing when Nintendo put out their art book for Breath of the Wild, there's references to something happening to Link's arm, cut ideas that they didn't use, and I was like, oh, this is they're gonna go back to this, I would imagine, at some point. So it's been there for years, but I get it. If you're going in, like the first trailer, you see arm related stuff, but you don't get like the moves that you're doing and everything. You get a hint of something's up, but yeah, I get it. So there's Ultra Hand, there's Ascend, there's the turn back time one, whatever that's called, Rewind, I guess, and then there's Fuse for fusing weapons together. And between those 4, I think you can do anything. Well, you could do
Pretty
it.
much.
Anything to everyone and anything.
It's made. In Breath of the Wild, I was a huge stamina guy. I had 3 circles of stamina before I even had a 4th heart. And this game is kind of like, you don't even, I mean, stamina is nice, but like it seems like stamina takes a back seat because there's just a lot of ways to get around. And I have a feeling that once I get deeper into the game and get stronger and stuff, stamina will be even less of a like a thing to get in the way.
I mean, I like climbing a lot, so I'll probably still,
Oh yeah, I'm
Try to-
climbing.
Oh, I've been
I'm-
climbing stuff.
I'm-
Yeah,
Get-
definitely.
I don't
get all the
yeah.
stamina rings I can.
I don't think I'm gonna do well because I can't think my way through building things.
Well, as Du and I were saying, I've seen a ton of TikToks. I was on TikTok last night, and my algorithm knows I'm into the Nintendo, so it showed me a ton of Zelda stuff. But it was showing me how people solved problems, and some of them were spots that I was in, and I'm like, they're thinking in such a different way
Yeah.
that I would never even begin to contemplate the way that they've chosen.
I would just
to
feel
solve this.
embarrassed like watching those.
And I'm like,
I'm
this
so
is
I
amazing.
would feel so uncreative.
So I got a great example of this. I got a great question for all of you because we've all done it. I want to see how we did it. The snow, the shrine you go to in the snow, it's up on a mountain and you have to figure out a way to
I
get
did
up
that
on there.
so easily. That was
I'm-
the easiest thing for me.
I want to know how you all got up there.
I don't remember.
I chopped down like 4 trees and I made them like a big
cemented.
long ladder and I just climbed up this. I skipped like an entire
Okay,
section of the
so
mountain.
you and I
just
did
by
the
doing
exact
that.
same thing. I stuck together.
And then
a
I
whole
did
bunch
it
of
again
trees.
after that shrine. There's another bit and I did it again
Yeah.
and I skipped.
It's
a
the shrine where you
whole
get ascend.
huge
You
section.
get ascend from
I
the
did make at least one like ladder out of logs. I don't know if it was in that particular spot.
Or yeah,
just-
or you got up there a different way altogether. Yes.
There's a lake. I went across the lake and just walked.
What?
In the
No.
snow, up in the snow.
Yeah.
No. The where the shrine is up higher than everything else.
Yeah, I don't remember.
You just did it. You know, because the water there, if you jump in the water, you die.
No.
Oh, yeah, I
made
did that.
There's like a pond.
Yes.
I made a boat, went across that, and I just walked.
That's
up
the first shrine. I'm talking about the one, or that's the second shrine.
In
I'm
the
talking about
snow.
after that. There's the really you're talking about the really long body of water that you have to go across to get to a shrine.
in the snow. When you get up into the snow, there's a pond that I figured I can't go into that water. I don't know where we were talking.
Did you
about.
have to eat like hot food to like?
Oh,
That's how
the
cold you
first
were
thing that
at
I
this
did
pond?
once I collected a little bit of food, I was like, well, there's a snow area right there, so I made a bunch of hot stuff, and it gave me like 12 minutes of whatever. And I was
Wow.
going walking around. I already have snow pants.
Mhm.
Oh man, see, I got the
I
snow
got the
pants
pants
after
after.
the shrine.
Yeah, me too.
we,
Oh,
we
no,
all
I got
went
them
like a different way.
immediately.
That's
so
funny.
you went a whole different
You
way.
went probably
yeah.
the way they probably want you to go.
And
I don't know. If
I
us
honestly,
three
like,
went the same way.
I
and he
can't-
went a different way.
Who knows?
My memory
no, because we were
sucks,
skipping.
but
We
like
skipped the
I don't
whole
think
didn't
I
think
did
I was
anything
skipping.
crazy.
I walked around that outside, and then you get to the waterfall that's down to the next portion, and there's another waterfall down, and you can't go in the water because it's cold. I was like, how do I get up here? And I was like, I got to build something to get up here, I guess. And that's what I did.
Yeah, but you would have come from the place you were building up to if you had done it the way that he did it. So you wouldn't have to go back the way you
I'd have
come,
to see it again.
and you'd already have the pants because you get the pants when you climb up there.
I guess so. Yeah.
The snow was the very first thing, like not the shrine, because obviously I was told to go to shrines and I was like, shrine.
Yeah.
But the very first thing I did was walk around in the snow, and there were enemies that were freezing me.
Ooh,
Oh,
the
thank you.
spoon.
There were enemies that started freezing me, and I'm like, I'm out of here. Can't handle this.
I was waiting for somebody to do that.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Pour
what
some
we're talking
milk
about.
in there.
All
and
right,
eat
I'd
it
have to
like
see it.
cereal.
So then let's go to the other shrine, the one that is the
here's
big.
the question: can I fast travel back to the sky?
to any shrine.
Yeah, any shrine. If you've been to
then
it, then you
have
can
to
travel to it.
So
I'd
you-
have to see it.
He
again to
teaches
know.
you to fast travel
Right.
for the
Yeah.
fourth shrine,
Right.
and you do that up there. So you should be good.
Right? No. I just didn't know if I can fast
Anywhere,
travel up.
yep. Any
from the
ta-
ground.
I
From the
believe
ground.
any town as
Probably.
well.
I haven't tried, but I'd imagine yes.
I've done it. Yes, you
I
can.
also thought
Okay.
I broke the game because I ascended near a ledge, and I was like, "Oh, I'm in the nowhere."
So the first shrine, I guess, the second shrine, where you get another ability, it is across that big body of water. Did everybody make a raft to get across that? Like you put your fan on the back of the raft and go across the water?
Yeah, I mean that's the part that I saw in that trailer.
Yes.
So
That's- yeah,
I was
same.
kind of just thinking.
Have
that.
you seen what people have done
I
online?
haven't. No.
Someone built like a 20 log by log pathway. Like they stuck together 20 logs long ways and like picked up the giant thing in the air and just dropped it across the whole body of water
Wow.
and walked across it. So our way
that's-
was much quicker. But if you want
Yeah,
to be
that's the-
crazy like that,
That's
you
the
can
thing. I
do
don't think
that.
I have the
Amazing.
patience to fuse that many logs together.
Here you go, Highland Tom. I did the same thing. Big log bridge ladder for the win. There you go.
Yeah, there were times where I was like, it's going to take some work to build what's in my head, and like I was like, I don't know if I want to do this, and I did it, and when it like worked, it was so worth all that work. It was there was such a satisfying sense of, and the fact that it's so easy, but you still feel like you're making something unique.
Yes. Also, there is a thing that you can get that remembers your builds. So
I
as long
can't
as you
wait for
have the
that.
items,
Like recipes.
as long as
I'm
you have
glad-
what's needed to build it, it'll build it
The
for
very
you.
first thing you make, they're like, logged in your recipes. And I'm like, great, there's a recipe book. I also like that you can
Oh, I didn't even pay attention
You
to the
can
recipe book
access-
thing. I got to get into that.
well, I mean, it's for a purpose, but you can access your items, your inventory directly from where you are. So you can just drop, flint or something. You don't have to go into your inventory, search for it, find it. You can sort things, which is a huge
Yeah.
help.
It is.
And I think the one thing that I love most out of anything is the fusing. The fact that
It's
you
the
just
best.
you just get arrows. You don't get different kinds. Maybe you
Yeah.
do later on or something.
Whatever
But it's just
kind of
like,
arrow
boom,
you want,
fuse
you
it,
got
boom. Like I'll do whatever I want.
it. Yep.
The key
Shooting-
eyeball.
I was
and the
shooting
flames
spicy
and
peppers at things, and it did nothing. But I can
But
do
there
it.
is the flame flower that does something, or the
Right.
bomb arrow that does something, or I've used it. I love the bow and arrow in general, so I'm using that all the time, but I'm using all kinds of different combinations just to see what they do, and there's some great ones. Also, speaking of fusing, have you fused a bomb to a shield?
No.
Fuse a bomb to a shield, then drop in on a circle of enemies and shield surf.
Oh man.
So when you hit the ground, you just explode the ground. You're protected from the shield. You get launched in the air, and the
And
enemies get
everybody else
hurt.
gets
It's
hurt.
amazing. It's amazing.
I
Obviously, it
never thought of
depends on
that.
the shield you have. If you got like a pot lid, it's probably going to break. But if you have a better
That's
shield, you can do
cool.
it a few
So-
times.
So the whole thing was, I was told to fuse the seed pods or whatever to my arrows for light, so I can shoot it in a cave.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know how to do that because I didn't have the fuse
Yeah.
mechanic yet. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. What am I supposed to do? So I fused one of those seed things to a rock, lit it, and carried that around. That was my
Nice.
flashlight.
That's
I've made
awesome.
some of the dumbest fusions for weapons, like just the longest weapons I can possibly think of. Also, have you done like a sword and a mushroom?
No.
Do a sword and a mushroom, because usually the last hit on an enemy sends the enemy flying. It goes like and they
wow.
fly through the air.
I did a big long stick with like a skeleton arm on the end of it. That was pretty funny.
8-bit Lego says fuse a minecart to a shield.
I
You
saw
get
that.
like a skateboard.
I saw that on TikTok. That was pretty.
It's
freaking
amazing
cool.
because it shrinks it down, but you get like a skateboard.
Really cool.
So you can jump on and just run.
That's great.
Man, I've built some. So I went into one of the chasms. You know how there's the chasm. You probably all saw the same chasm, where you land, the big red hole in the ground, and you can't get down into it until you have a way of getting down there safely. But I went down to the chasm. Let me tell you, it's wild down there. When you go, I don't want to ruin it, but it's wild. I went down there and I was like, I don't feel like I should be here.
It's
Like
a-
it's
too scared.
uncomfortable, weird.
Can
Like
you
the
at
ninth
least
circle of
ascend
hell?
out whenever you want? or
Well,
do
you can
have
warp
to-
out through your map. So,
Okay.
but it's like you're going down, down, down. You can't ascend because the ceiling's
Oh,
so high up. It's like a whole new world down there,
I don't even want
and
to
it
go
is
down there yet.
completely different.
Too scared.
But there was a reason why I was saying
There's
this.
some shady
Oh,
characters.
there's a
down
whole
there.
bunch of Zonai parts down there. So I was building all kinds of weird stuff, and I built basically a giant skateboard with a control stick in the middle, and I'm like driving it through like this landscape down there. It's skateboard with a control stick in the middle, and I'm like driving it through like this landscape down there, and I was like, this is the coolest thing in the world. Like driving over enemies and driving like up hills. Obviously, I have like one battery. I still haven't upgraded my battery, but it's wild down there. So now that I'm down there, I'm like, well, this is the whole game for me now. I never want to
Man.
leave here. So
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Tears
Well,
of
now-
the
now
Tears
you
of the
make me wanna
Kingdom
go
is
down
what it's what Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts should have been.
yes, oddly enough, Banjo-Kazooie, the whole game built on that. Was so frustrating to build that stuff, and here it's just like, oh, stick it together, and that's it.
Yeah, it really is brilliant.
Have any of you gotten stuck on an island, or think you've gotten stuck on an island in the sky?
I've only been on the one.
Not an island, but I got stuck somewhere in the sky. Yeah.
How did you get down?
Well, it's a whole thing. So
Please go right ahead.
so I was up there with a character, and it was like basically like it was like the first time they're teaching you how to do like a balloon. And like I went up in this balloon, and I didn't have. You
I
said
haven't been taught to do a balloon yet.
well, you said
Really?
I could. You said that I could say some of the abilities.
Oh yeah,
right?
no, it's
So,
fine.
like,
Go right ahead.
So like I didn't have the paraglider yet, and I was like, and that was like driving me crazy because
I was like,
where the hell is this?
the whole
dang
time I
thing?
was like, when are they going to give
Yeah,
it to me?
Exactly.
I jumped off of some high things thinking I can.
Here's,
slide and
here's
I-
a non-spoiler for the paraglider. Just do this. Follow the story. That's all you got to do.
Right.
Yeah.
No extra. He's not hidden somewhere. Just do the story.
didn't know if it
I
was
knew
a
I
part
would get
of
it
it, if I had to
eventually.
build it.
It's
Yeah,
just
I
like-
figured they would give it to you very early on, and they do. You just and then,
Yeah,
like I say,
figured.
you get to the breaking point of the 4 things on a map, and I'm like, goodbye.
And then that's when you
Yeah.
can finally do whatever you want and not have to worry about the
Yeah.
main stuff. That's what I'm.
Because
gonna
I was
focus
like,
on.
before I really go wild, I need the paraglider because I want to fall from places
yeah.
safely because I got stuck somewhere. So-
Yeah.
But anyway, go ahead.
So so basically you go up in this balloon, and you have to like light the thing on fire right in the middle, and it like it's like a hot air balloon.
Mhm.
So you're up there, and I was with somebody, and like you see what you need to see when you're up there, and then the character's like, I'm gonna stay here for a while. You can use a paraglider to get down. And I was like,
No, I can't.
and I jumped.
So-
I was like, oh, they must have given me the paraglider with no pomp and circumstance. Like every Zelda game, when you get an item and they don't tell you you got it.
Yeah.
So I jumped and of course died. And then like I had to do the whole section again, which wasn't bad,
Aw.
but I did it. And then it was like, so then I was like, well, let me just kill the fire. So I took like a little chew
He's
jelly
heading
and
towards
like I
certain
put out the
things.
fire, and then it like cut that out. It like faded to black, and it
Yeah.
was like the character, that you were supposed to protect, whatever. So like then it was the two of us on the ground. Luckily, neither of us died. And then and that's how I got down to the ground safely, if you must know.
So I did. Thank you. I did one of those rewind the blocks. You see a block fall from the sky. I jumped on it, rewound up to the top, and there was a treasure chest up there on like it was probably as big as this room. It was like a little nothing, and I'm
See, I
up there
don't
and I'm
think
like, how do I get down? And I'm like looking around and I'm like, there's nothing here. How do I get down? I don't have the paraglider. I was like, is there water? And I looked at the map and I'm like, I don't see any water. So I jumped and I dove and I'm looking as I'm falling. I'm like, oh, there's nothing here. And I just head first into the ground. So I'm back up there again. And I could have loaded the save from before because it was down on the ground like 5 minutes ago. But I was like, I'm sure there's a way to get down.
Yeah.
So I had one of those Zonai birds, the big bird platform.
Oh yeah.
And I put that down. But, you have to angle it just right. So there's no railing or anything. It just
Right.
teeters on the edge. So I teetered it enough to make it fall. And it fell, and I tried to jump after it, and I jumped on it, and it like tipped backwards, and I fell off of it
Oh
and died.
no.
And I was like, all right, I got it this time. Teetered it on the edge. It flew down. Then I did rewind and called it back up, jumped on it.
Brilliant.
And then it takes off, and I steered it down.
Wow, brilliant.
And I'm soaring like through like there's like an outpost, an enemy outpost, and I'm like walking on the sides of the wings and the tail. And I was like, this is so damn cool.
I love just like stepping forwards and backwards.
Yeah.
And just like
And yes,
peacefully
yes.
had-
ride.
It was so great.
That was a huge I hate this phrase aha moment, but it was just a huge moment for me when the first time you get those gliders, you're still up in like the very first area, and there's the section where like there's a track there, and like most normal people would be like, oh, that's where you put the glider, and I'm sure most normal people did that. Me, nope. I was like, that's weird. There's nothing here. There's no like carts here that would fit into the track. So what is that
Yeah.
for? So I went and like I put 2 fans one front and one back on this glider, and I was like, I hopped on it and I smacked it, and it would just like stood there, and I was like, okay, I gotta think about this different. So then I would like pick it up and like put it like teetering on the edge, and then jump on real quick. And so the time I actually got it to work, I jumped on, but it went straight down, and I like turned to like I don't know what, and like Link grabbed on and started climbing it. So I'm climbing this as it's falling down, and I just climbed to the back, and it tilts it out, and then it straightened out, and then I rocked it all the way down, I landed right on the doorstep of where you're supposed to be, and I was like, this game's gonna be incredible, and like I didn't even mean to do that.
I saw a TikTok of somebody fighting with one of those Zonai birds where they got on it and it tips over and it's like spiraling through the air, and they're jumping off of it and using the paraglider to slow down and then dive back onto it and try and correct it, and they get it at the end and they fly off, and I was like, that's so cool. When you get to that part with the tracks where you're first riding the Zonai bird, that ride from that top back to where you were, it's amazing. It's an amazing moment, because you're like, I can't believe I'm doing this. Like, this is really awesome.
It's amazing how we all had different experiences with that first part, but it's still so tailor-made to teach you and grab that like that wonder from you.
Yeah, Freddie Pro says they did the same exact thing you did.
Nice.
I wasted 4 fans on one of those birds because I was like, put them on the wings, and then like, whoop.
So
I was like, all right, I need like, I'll put one right in the middle underneath, so it's 3 straight across. Whoop. I was like, what am I supposed?
Before I had paraglider, I did the same thing. I saw a treasure chest that was on a mountain, and it had spikes around the top of the mountain, so I couldn't climb up to it. And I was like, I'll build a bird with fans on it. So I put fans on, head, tail, 2 wings, stood in the middle and turned the fans on, and the bird was just like backwards and over. I was like, I'm not meant to get this yet. I'll come back to it later. And we were talking about the Koroks. And Kirby, I heard from you two, the Koroks that you first meet up on the island, and they're like, I miss my friend, blah, blah, blah. Did you, what's the word? Reunite them?
I did. It took me a while to figure out, because like you can use Ultra Hand to move one of them, but not the other.
Yes.
You can only move the
ones with the big bags.
It's like you can use Ultra Hand to move one of them, but not the other.
Yes.
You can only move the
ones with the big bags you can move.
Yeah, exactly. The one who...
And you can attach things to them like they're just an object.
You can put whatever the hell you want.
Well, yeah, I made a platform.
Because they hadn't gotten them, and I was wondering.
I got those.
I saw.
You did.
I just didn't think you could do anything with them. I was like, I'm gonna go see his friend, and he'll come over.
I reunited 2 of them. I didn't know.
Yeah, right. He's over there. He's over there.
I didn't know what you had said that you can do with them, and I won't mention that here. But like, I reunited 4. Like, I reunited 2 of them twice. You know what I mean? Like, I reunited 4 completely. 2 pairs.
Darn it. I didn't even think to reunite them. I was just like, screw you guys.
Well, you're like, when he said, your friend, oh yeah, that's rough. You ain't getting this.
Yeah. Well, when the guy said, he says something like, I'm so tired I can't move, or something like that. I was like, oh, okay. He wants me to move him. I get it. Also,
so lazy.
Is anybody else finding the characters in this game to be pretty funny? There's some dialogue that they have and some personalities that I'm not like laugh out loud or anything. I'm like, some of these are quirky, funny.
I'm probably not paying enough attention to the dialogue at this point.
Has anybody gotten to the sign guy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because him, he's great. I love that guy because he's so dumb, and I'm sure we're gonna see him a million times, and I'm excited for that because I don't know.
When does
I won't spoil what the sign guy has you do, but I love his personality. I love like how dedicated he is to this stupid idea that he's doing, and he doesn't see how he's being used. I just
wait. Hudson's not a bad guy. Hudson Construction, he did Terrytown. Are you talking crap on Hudson? I didn't meet Hudson in this game. Maybe he's let power go to his head.
I'm not saying Hudson's being a bad guy, but this guy out there that's, we'll just say, doing the job for Hudson, the guy doesn't have to stand there and do that job for Hudson. And that's what your job is, to show this guy, to be like,
sure Hudson's paying him something.
Maybe, I don't know. But the guy's great. Also, the what is he? a pelican, the pelican guy. He's in the town where you in the little what is it? Lookout, whatever it is. You know where
Lookout Landing.
Yeah, he's there right by the tower.
I haven't met the pelican guy.
So you know how you go in the
I
tower and
must
you
have
fly
missed
up in the air with the cord and blah blah blah. You come back down.
yeah,
Then
that's right where I saved the game there, and that's where
right after that, if you go back to the tower, there's a pelican guy there from another town.
All
My
right.
favorite character in
Delicious.
Zelda ever. Love the man. The little noises. Whoever the voice actor is, he channeled his inner pelican because the noises he's making
Nice.
are great. He's so good.
I'll
His
have to
look
check
is
him out.
good. Oh, I love him. I've seen him once. We talked for like 30 seconds. I'm like, this is the best character I've ever seen.
Is he like Chicken Boo?
I guess a little bit, but he knows he's a. Well, I
He's a
would
pelican
imagine he
disguised
knows.
as a man.
I think it's a pelican. I don't know. He's some kind of big bird. It's not like one of the other birds in Zelda. It's very clearly a regular bird, but it's great. And he's obviously making deliveries because what else would he do? But oh my god,
Is that a stork?
he's
What are you
great.
talking about?
Maybe it's a stork. Maybe it's a stork.
You mentioned voice acting. Can we bring up?
You can bring up whatever you want.
The one that was controversial going into this.
I didn't know there was one.
The
Well, I mean, anytime
the
a
character, in the very
actually
beginning
talks,
that's
it's weird.
the mummy that you see.
There was controversy.
Oh, I'm assuming that's who we think it is, right?
He announced it. It's Matt Mercer.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know what's story and what's
Daredevil?
not story, but yeah, the voice actor.
What is the controversy? What are
People
you
were
talking
like,
about?
"Oh man, this guy is going to be the voice."
This guy
I-
known for voice acting is going to be a voice actor?
No,
Yeah, he
but
did.
whatever. Go back and listen to your
Was
own
it more-
podcast.
was it
People
more
were
just-
like, people were concerned that he has more of like a gentler voice, or he's not going to be efficient enough, or like he's not going to be a good Ganon. I'm sorry, I said it. I don't know if that's a
I
spoiler.
think we no Ganon's in the game. Yeah.
Yeah, but you said no story.
Ganondorf,
point, so
Ganondorf.
I don't know, but so when
Or
you
is he
see him in
called
the
Upheaval
beginning, I
Ganon?
think he did a great job. I mean, we only had that one brief moment,
Yeah, it's fine.
but he's not like
I mean,
the voice of like
he's
a-
better than Princess Zelda.
a prince or something like that. Like he sounds menacing. He
Perfect
sounds mean.
segue. We have an interview with her coming up on Monday. That's great.
I liked her too. I was listening to that, and I'm like, you know what?
Well,
Like,
I should
Disney,
say, like
Disney
she's
princesses are like very like breathy or whatever, and like dainty, and she sounds like she's been out in the trenches. She's a tough princess.
the trenches.
Everybody's. I wouldn't say everybody's
She sounds
amazing
like an
voice
uppity
acting
British
wise.
chick. She
I
sounds
haven't
like
had-
she's at a tea party. She doesn't sound like she's in the trenches.
We've heard the most.
No,
of-
but her,
she reminds me of the. You guys remember the little Indian prince from Temple of Doom? That's kind of what she reminds me of.
yes.
I recall the tales of the Thuggy cult.
I do like the. I love how. Well, I guess that's story spoiler, even though it's the first cutscene. But I won't talk about it.
I should say, even though it sounds like I'm talking crap about her. She does fine, and I don't think she deserved any of the backlash she received
Yeah.
for the previous game.
She's fine. Like I don't think she's bad. I don't think she's great. She's fine. It's whatever. Matt Mercer.
And it really
I believe
doesn't
he's
matter
doing
in the long run.
Raru as well.
Oh, really?
I
thought
am
that-
almost positive.
I
he's
told you.
doing
I
it.
thought that was Keanu.
If somebody in the chat could correct me on that, maybe I'm wrong, but I really thought. Also, Rosemary, I thought the same thing.
Because it gives you his Johnny Silverhand.
I
Well,
thought
no, but that's what was funny. I was going to say about when we talk about what we played, aka why I'm wearing this stupid thing. But
we do have to talk about that.
but yeah, I just thought when I heard Raru's voice, it made me think of Keanu Reeves, and then I was thinking Johnny Silverhand, and then I was looking at my own hand.
Can somebody tell me the voice actor for that character? I thought it was Matt Mercer as well, but I could be wrong.
Raru?
But I like them. Yeah, I like their approach to it. Also, I love that Nintendo gets voice actors for some characters and then also makes those voice actors do the traditional Zelda voice acting. Yeah, that stuff. I love that they make them do that. So, and not every bit of dialogue in the game is voice, but you still get the that kind of stuff, and I love it. Oh, Chris Hackney is Raru. Well, Raru. I really like him. I thought he did a nice job with it.
I agree. Even though I've seen very, very little of the story for what I've seen so far, I love.
That's a
Really
I
interesting.
really like that character. Yeah.
I love the designs of the other things too. They like kind of come out like you don't.
Yes. I mean, all that stuff. Yeah, Nintendo thinks about that to like the nth degree. Even the loading screens have that stuff like playing on it as well. So
I love that Breath of the Wild and this game start off like cinematic. Like it's just a black screen with just Nintendo presents or whatever. Like there's no like craziness to it. It's just like this is what you're getting into. And then you get into it, and then like you play for a while, and then you get hit with the actual title screen.
Yeah.
And it hits you in a way where it's just like
It comes at like the perfect moment.
Yep, it's great. It's great. They and then, especially in this game, they've been doing a very great point of like making big moments in the game. Not even if they're a big story moment, just like big things in the game feel that much bigger. Like when you finally leave the sky to go down to Hyrule, like when you're falling down there, the music that's playing and how they show that's another like big moment that's really got a great crescendo to it. When you do the tower in that town, that's such a cool scene.
So amazing.
Where he gets shot out and the rope and everything, and he's like, "Oh, I love it! I love that moment."
I was curious, like, what the heck's with the rope? And he's got like a line connected to his thing.
Is this some kind of sex
but then
machine?
he's literally up there, like filming the land. And I was like, well, that makes more sense than just going up to a tower and hitting an invisible button.
I didn't know that Salamaster Link. Salamaster Link says those noises, so like all those reactions are called efforts. That's a cool little tidbit. I didn't know that.
There you go.
You
learned
I'm on the
something.
toilet, making an effort.
What are you voice acting in this?
I don't remember all like the information. When does this take place in relation to
the
other game?
And when does it take place as far as after Breath of the Wild?
Yeah.
Well, it's after it. How long? I don't know.
Enough for Peretta.
Not too long because they're rebuilding. Not too long because they're rebuilding the town. So
that's inappropriate. But she was 100 years old, even as a child.
The old anime loophole.
But like
that 6-year-old child is actually 1,000 years old. Anyway,
so everything you do to her is nice and legal.
But now she's like a teenager. Or is it a different person?
Are you talking about the game or imaginary situation?
That game.
What's that game?
With this game.
Are you trying to be secretive on purpose? What's that game? This game.
Pura is her name?
Tears of the Kingdom. You are talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your question?
character.
How old is she?
Yeah.
I don't
now
know.
she's like aged like a teenager.
Who's her?
She was in the last game.
She
right?
was a
In
teenager in the last game.
I thought she was more of a child in the last game.
I thought she was a teen.
like
Maybe
this-
she's not.
She was like really tiny.
13.
She was. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm sure. 6 years. 8-bit Lego has heard.
Oh,
not,
okay.
not a definitive, but
And
also what's
it's
that
just
other?
like-
What's that other girl with her? She's awesome.
Oh, Josh.
Yeah, I've
Josh.
seen so little of her, but her reactions, I love her. I want to see more of her. I hope she's
Don't
involved
call
more.
me Linky though. Am I right?
I'm
I'm sorry. Is that a spoiler?
Spoiler alert. Well, she's not calling. No,
Pura was.
Pura. Yeah, not Joshua or whatever.
But I mean, honestly, Pura can call me whatever she wants.
Oh.
because I'm richer for knowing her. Oh, thank you, thank you.
I had a question. When was the last time there was a Zelda game that had like a direct sequel like this, where it's
So
it's the
your
same
direct
links, the same
sequels are
Zelda.
Ocarina of Time to Majora's Mask, Link to the Past to A Link Between Worlds, and Wind Waker to
Spirit Tracks?
to
Phantom
Hourglass, right? I'm not as sure in the last one, but I could be wrong.
Oh,
Yeah, Wind
Phantom
Waker
Hourglass
to
was
Wind
a
Waker
sequel
to
Wind
Phantom
Waker.
Hourglass is true, and then
That's true.
Spirit Tracks is not the same link that was Phantom Hourglass, I believe.
I don't even remember. But
I couldn't remember whether or not it was. I was just trying to think what the most like recent example of that was, like before Breath of the Wild. And
yeah,
Tears of the Kingdom.
it's a rarity. Super Blast X says Zelda 1 and 2. Is that true? I don't even know. I got no clue to tell you the
I
truth.
think it is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's
think
what I
it
heard.
is.
You're right, William George. Sorry, it's called Phantom Choo Choo. We got that wrong. Our
Yeah,
apologies.
remember? I'm the one who coined that.
Freddie Frost says that little ditty that plays in Lookout Landing is Chef's Kiss. Yeah, I really like it.
You know, just like with Breath of the Wild, you cannot notice the music, but if you're paying attention to it, you will be rewarded. There is a shrine, and I don't know if all the shrines have the same music, but because I wasn't paying attention, like I said, but the one shrine I was paying attention to, it was the coolest. It had old school Zelda and like some kind of new, if you were in like futuristic Japan going to like blues clubs. It was insane. It was like the
I know what
and then
you
there's like
mean.
a
I know what you mean. I know
and
what
it's
you
like
mean.
amazing. I
And
don't
when
even
you throw
know.
enemies in, like if there is an enemy in a shrine, it'll add something else to the music.
Yes,
Love
or
it.
if you're like you open up the thing and you're reading the thing, and I read really slow and I gotta like concentrate, so like the music kind of like fades away, so that like dummies who can't think and read like have to just like oh, okay, I can read this, and then I get out and then the music hits back up. It's all so flawless. It's done so flawlessly that you wouldn't notice it unless you're paying attention, and that's what I'm gonna have to start trying to pay attention to every moment, because there's just so much greatness.
So very much taking my time, not because I feel like I have to, but because I desperately want to. I'm just enjoying it so much, and I barely scratched the surface of anything, and I can go anywhere and do anything I want. And I'm just so excited because, like, I'm excited from a story perspective, but just from a literal gameplay perspective, there's so much to do and see, and so many places to go. I'm like, this is great. I went to a random outpost that had like a big bokoblin, whatever they're called, and his henchmen, and they're hanging out, and I went to go in the front gate and they attacked me, and I was like, maybe I'll go try get in a different way. And I climbed up like a side wall and they got me or whatever. So I was wandering around this little plateau that it's on, and I found like a cave to go in. And I went in a cave and I was like, I wonder if I can go into the base through the ceiling. And I did ascend, and there was a spot where I could do it. And I went up and I popped up behind like 4 enemies that were asleep and a guy in a cage. And the guy's like, please help me. I was like, oh my God.
Please help me, man.
So I tried to like.
Did you press B and go back down?
No, I almost did.
Oop,
No,
sorry,
I got
wrong spot.
out, and there's a metal box, and I was like, let me pick up the metal box, and I'll drop it on the enemy. So I picked up the metal box, and I accidentally knocked it into the guy's cage, and everybody woke up, and I was like, and I ran out of there, and they all chased me out. It was great. Also, I called in MomBrain to show her something.
Oh my
This
God.
is so good. I was at some random castle, and I used, again, ascend just to see if I could get up to the top, and I could. And I poked my head out of the top, and I poked my head out right next to a pigeon. There's a pigeon sitting right here, right next to me. And when I climbed out, it flew away. I was like, that's really funny.
That's awesome.
There's places clearly where you think like, oh, I wonder if I could go up here. I bet nobody's done this. And Nintendo knows you're going to do it, because I've popped up on stuff, and you arrive like in the center of stones, like a circle of stones, and they're like, oh, they knew you were going to come here. It's like, oh, I thought I was doing something special, but I wasn't. But yeah, just that kind of the magic and wonder of not knowing where you're going and having so many things to do and so many ways to get things done is amazing.
Yeah, I'm
It's
so
amazing.
excited to get back into it.
I hope the music is the same from Breath of the Wild for the Gorons, though.
Haven't even been anywhere near them, so I got no clue.
I was playing that earlier in the week, and the Goron music reminds me of that game where you play the trombone and you're like,
Trombone champ, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
it's like so good because it's just like so. Is that jaunty? Is that what we call it? Like,
I'd say it's jaunty.
Feeling
Yeah,
jaunty.
sure. Whimsical.
I was-
Not even whimsical.
I was so happy when I found a stable, and then the stable music started playing,
Well, I was
Stable
saying in
music's
Nicky Hill
great.
at stables,
and I saw a dog. And I was like,
if you go to a stable
Dog
and
the
you play
Bounty
Breath of the
Hunters
Wild
is?
and you have a save file on your
just a
system,
regular
then
dog.
your horses from Breath of the Wild will be in Tears of the Kingdom, so you can continue your journey.
I know
with
that was great too. I
whatever
was like,
horse you have.
really? I've
They've returned.
remember that giant horse from Breath of the Wild with the
Yes.
red mane?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
I named him Big Guy. He was still in my stable.
Oh, that's
He's
great.
ready for a new adventure.
Yeah, I didn't put him in my.
Mm.
I had a horse, and I never rode a horse in Breath of the Wild like ever. So I
Really?
I
Okay.
had one, and it was
I
just
didn't
in the
either.
stable, and I didn't even remember I had one, and I didn't remember naming him or anything. And like I get to that part, and the guy's like, "Oh, you have horses. Here's I'll bring your horses over." And there was only one, and his name was W. Axel Rose. And I just thought that was so funny. I was like, "What was I on?"
I've seen stables. I haven't gone to them yet. I have ridden horses just because I wanted to. But in the chasm, I went down to the chasm. Obviously, that red crap is everywhere down there, so you got to be careful where you walk.
The gloom.
And there's the bone horses down there. So I tamed one
Yes.
of them, and I've been riding it through the chasm because I
Wow.
can't step on the ground. And I was like, this is so
That's
cool.
so
And his
cool.
eyes are like, bright red, orange, pink, and it's so freaky looking.
I'm
but
still
you
mad I
pat it on
couldn't
the head,
keep
and it's
one
like,
of those things.
it gives you hearts and everything. I was like, this is great. It's great. But yes, I'm so. I mean, there's so much for us to see and do, and like I said on TikTok, I've seen so many things that I would have never considered ever to solve problems, and it's opening my eyes to all the different things I can do. Like, we're talking about climbing up, how we climbed up in places. People have taken sticks and boards and built just like platforms that you couldn't climb normally, but they're using Ascend to just go up each level. So you can build a giant
That's brilliant.
stick floor platform to get up to wherever you want. It's a great idea. I would have
really is
never
great.
thought of that. I don't know why. I've also, like I said, seen a ton of people taking Kuroks and strapping rockets to them, or like putting them on one of the Zonai birds. I saw someone take a Zonai bird and put 10 rockets on it and put him on it and then hit it and just watch it take off. Take off.
Yeah.
Also, every chance I get, I will drop a rock back onto a Kurok so they make that little noise.
I used to love doing that in
I
Breath
did
of the
too.
Wild.
It's so good. I love doing it.
So can any Korok you can attach to something, or just the ones you have to?
The big backpack guys, you
Okay.
can, yeah, because they're too tired to move, but you can move them.
Why
so
do they just take the backpack off?
they're too tired to move. They can't. So yeah, feel free to stick them on whatever you want. You can attach them to anything.
I would love to see one of them walking around because you like. There's no way they can.
Not with the
They
pack
strap
on.
that
Yeah.
thing on, and they've been laying there for days.
Did you guys build your hook machines to get across the railings, or did you do it a different way?
No, that's all I did.
Because I've seen people just walk the rails very carefully.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
I did that once. Not the rails that were real thin, but there was one that was like a little bit thicker, like a one thing that was just thicker. That, and I'd built this contraption and sent it over, and I forgot to like step on it first. so it was like goodbye. So I was like, well, I don't know what to do now. So I just climbed up on the thing and then just tight roped it, and that worked.
Highly and Tom says, I saw someone rewind a rock, pause it, and then ascend through it. What a great idea. And then just fly wherever it's going.
That's
I've
unbelievable.
rewound rocks back at enemies. I've done that a lot of times, especially when a big guy throws a big rock, I've rewound it and he
Oh
just
my
smacks himself in the
gosh.
head with it. So that's great.
That tastes well. It
I
pauses, right?
gotta
When you go
try
into
that
rewind,
now.
it
Yeah.
pauses.
Yeah.
I've almost fought nobody. I mean, I
fought a couple really big guys, but not by choice. I
There's
just
the-
happened to wander into
there's
areas
big-
where they are.
Big,
Loaders.
Big loaders.
Gablocklins. What are they called? Magoblins.
Bokoblins.
Bokoblins?
Sure. There's
Bo-
like
I
big
I didn't know if
ones.
you're saying if the big ones have a different name because they
there's
might.
Like there's like a big
Or
one.
Bokoblins.
Oh, he's like the big boss or something. They call it.
DD Mega
Um,
Doo-Doo.
Yeah, he took a lot of hits.
They do take a lot of hits. We don't have the strongest weapons right now, all of us, even if we're fusing weird things together. But
yeah.
the big guys.
Well,
take
there was
big
this
hits.
one.
Have you seen the monkey kind of guys? They're bokoblins, but they're monkeyish.
Do they have like kind
No.
of like a reddish mane?
Yes.
I was wondering what those were.
Oh,
I
they move.
spotted a
They
few
move
of
like
them.
monkeys, but they're really quick, and they like swarmed me. And so they all came out of a cave,
Yeah,
and
I
one like
figured they
jumped up
were-
on the front door of a cave and was hanging off of it, and then just swung at me, and like they all came out and chased me away. I was like, "Holy crap, these things are weird."
Yeah, when
Horriblins, they're called horriblins, and
Oh.
Okay.
Anastasia says, "I hate them."
I
yeah,
saw
as soon as I saw them, I was like, I know I'm no match for these guys. I'm gonna,
Accurate name.
I'm gonna hoof it.
So I stayed far away and took them out with arrows. I was
Oh,
attaching
yeah.
different things to arrows to like freeze them or just headshot them or whatever. So
I got lucky. I only came across one all alone in a cave, and I mistook him for one of those white things that climb on the ceiling because he was
the
climbing
like
on the
lights,
ceiling.
yeah.
No, not the like lights.
Oh, the ones that look
the
like
lights are the things that eat your shield, right?
Yeah, I thought they were
You mean
big
like
white
those
things and-
bubble lizards?
They're like
whatever they're called.
white
Oh.
lizards. Yeah.
Oh,
the-
okay,
yes,
okay.
And they
yeah.
drop the
I set those
snowflakes. or something.
suckers on fire every time I see them.
Oh, that's smart.
I do one fire shot and then they need one hit with any weapon and they're dead. Yeah, and then that creature pops out and you get the whatever from them. Whatever you
Yeah.
do with that, I got no clue.
You have to bring. Well, I won't tell you, but somebody told me what to do with it. They
I
told me
know.
to shove it up my butt.
I know it says like maybe it's the description says like if you collect them, maybe you'll get something. You know, I know somebody wants them, but
Well, yeah. I mean, in classic Zelda fashion, you know you're gonna find a place for all this stuff at some point.
yes, Red Souza, I'm sorry to spoil, but there are likes. You see them very early on.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Either.
Yeah, they got big.
They
Yeah,
are
it's
very
good.
There
big.
was
Yeah.
no point in playing. Thanks.
He says, I hate them though.
That-
well, I
those
would
are-
say they're
those-
not too bad here. They're huge, but they're really not. I've never gotten caught by one.
Those
I
I've-
just got caught by one.
I
I'm
He ate
sorry
my
for you.
sword.
that's one
I got my sword back though.
one bad guy or one enemy or whatever monster that I thought was missing. Like I was like, oh, like Breath of the Wild didn't have that or something like it, and I thought that was interesting. But I didn't. Maybe I don't know. But
What likes?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't remember likes in the game. Maybe there were.
Something
I
Seems
like
like there
likes.
was, right? There had to be one.
In Breath
I've
of the
never
Wild,
seen
I
ones
never
like
saw
that
it.
though. Like one's
I haven't
attached
seen
to a
these.
cave that are kind of like a worm. Like it's.
Yeah, I I didn't even realize that's what it was when I
Oh.
first encountered one until like after I had beaten it. And
Same with me.
So I found in Breath of the Wild, there's like the King of the Mountain, like the alien horse thing.
Yes.
I found one in this.
Oh,
And I mean, is this a spoiler if I say it?
I don't know.
It leaves a lot of drop points all around the land. And every one of those drop points is like one of those pinpoints is one of the little,
Oh, I didn't know that.
and they haven't gone away yet. Like they haven't faded.
Mhm.
But that was pretty exciting to see my old friend back.
Any particular shrines you've had a great time with or you really enjoyed?
I just want to say I like that they're like portals. They're not going down into the earth and it's like there's no way this exists here, which it's a magical land.
I need a realistic Zelda game.
But you portal to the realm.
yes,
And when you look up, it looks like there's like maybe other
you're somewhere weird.
there's other, but I'm thinking there's other shrine. Like you're in a giant freaking cube of rooms, and like you just portal
what
into
it
a different
could
room.
be is because I just found out recently that the original Legend of Zelda's temples, all if you put all the maps together, they
They
fit
make a thing,
together
yeah.
in a big square. And the reason that is because when you go in, like behind the scenes of the video game, all the temples are right next to each other. You
Yeah.
just can't get to them unless you glitch out. So maybe this is one of those things where all the shrines are. I
Could
mean, wouldn't be for a
Yeah, it's part like game magic and part game functionality. It's
Yes.
like Leon in Resident Evil 4 when you get like the radio calls and you see the two faces. It's it's the full character model. They just have the frame around it. So if somebody pulls
you're
the
in
camera out with
widescreen,
tools, you
see
can
him
see
outside.
like, his body there.
Yeah, I saw that just this morning, actually.
So yeah, I mean it could be, but yes, is there a shrine anybody really enjoyed doing?
The Shrine of the Silver Monkey, of
The
course.
shrine. I just love the shrines
none of
in
them
general.
have
They're
like
great.
blown my mind yet.
One that blew my mind. It was, I mean, and it's still early, so like it's all kind of really exciting for me. And when I get it right, when they give me the diddly diddly, I mean, forget it. It's when I get on hard. But so there was this one that I liked where there was like two ramps, like one on one side that went to two closed doors, and then one on another side that went to two like roly-poly holes that you would put a ball in. So what you had, like the one of the holes opened one of the doors, and the other hole opened the other door, but they wouldn't be open at the same time, and there was only one ball. So what I had to do was I had to put the ball in the first hole, roll it down to the second hole, and then go across the way and rewind
Yeah.
it and like go through the first door when it was in the second hole, and then it goes back up into the first hole where I put it first, and then I went through, and it was so simple, but it was just really cool. And watching like the ball do what I had made the ball do, like
Yeah.
in reverse, was kind of cool.
I
Because then it
haven't-
was like, okay, there's a lot of things that I can manipulate,
Yep.
perhaps, that then I can, rewind or
yeah,
something.
I haven't done that shrine. I haven't seen it.
I mean, I've only done the first 4 that they make you do, and classic NickyHill, like you're given an ability.
What do I
and,
do here?
And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like, how am I? No,
what tools do I use?
well, the reverse. What is it called?
I don't know.
Whatever.
Rewind. It's
rewind
rewind time.
It's rewind time.
That shrine, I think, has like multiple stages.
That's fake, right?
Yes.
It has multiple steps or whatever, and like there's the clock, and I was like, what am I? And it took me like several minutes or whatever, not a whole bunch of minutes, but a couple minutes of just like farting around to be like, oh, duh.
The
Like,
power I just got.
you have to. Well, no, I was using it, but I was like, how am I? What am I gonna? How am I gonna use this?
Oh, I get it. I have to use rewind time on this giant clock.
Right.
I went
It
into
makes
one
sense.
shrine and I didn't have the paraglider, and I think I was going to need it.
I did too. There was
Okay.
one where I couldn't get anywhere. Did it have a fan?
Yeah.
Yes. I
That's the
couldn't
only
do
thing
it,
that was
yeah.
in there, and I was like, okay,
It's like
I need a
it's an
paraglider.
embarrassingly low platform that
So
you
low.
can't climb up
Yeah.
on, and you're like, and there's one Zonai fan, and that's it. And I'm like, I'll fudge it and get it up
You
there
could-
somehow.
You could almost climb in real life, climb on the fan, and then just climb up. That's
Yeah.
how close it was. But I was like, I need to
There
get
was,
the paraglider. And
those
then
shrine walls are too slippery. You can't do it.
yeah, my problem was, instead of doing what you had said and thinking in terms of video games, being like, look, they got to give you the paraglider early, just do the first story mission. I didn't
Mhm.
think that way. I landed and I was like, let me pull out my binocs, and I looked around and I was like, ooh, 5 or 6 shrines, and I just spent hours
Yeah.
walking to each shrine and then finding out that 2 of them I couldn't even do, and one of them probably.
Well, funnily enough,
couldn't
I
do.
did the same thing. But when I got to that shrine, I was like, I need the paraglider. And I was like, all right, I'll do the story because I'm sure I'll get the paraglider. So we did the same thing.
Well, that's why I want to borrow your.
Different skins for your paraglider. So yeah, borrow whatever ones you want. I did a shrine that was like a hole in the wall shrine, where you had like blocks that you had to turn in a specific way.
Oh yes,
to match the hole.
that was very
I really
cool.
liked that idea.
I liked that because not only did you have to turn it in a specific way to get through the hole to the next room, but once you got into that room, there was even a clever way to
Yeah.
use it to climb up to get like a chest.
Yeah,
and
it's not like just blocks. It's like a shaped block that you have to manipulate through the hole, and then you use that block and put it in a specific position so that you can climb it to get to the next part of the shrine. So I was like,
that one was
that's
cool.
awesome. I really like that idea. I'm sure they're going to do more with that in a few more shrines, but
It's
Oh, I
so
love it.
satisfying. It's so satisfying.
that's the whole game. It's so satisfying. The whole game is
The
just
whole
so
game
satisfying.
is yeah, really. And the fact that it's easy, but you can still do whatever you want, and it feels, like I said before, it feels unique. It feels like you're having your own unique experience, and yet they somehow tailored it too. Like, you can still have your unique experiences, but there's still those moments that are just like you said, when you pop up and you're in the middle of a place that they exactly wanted you to pop
Yeah.
up in. So like things like that are just so amazing. It just feels great. I mean, this is why we get excited for Nintendo games, let alone Zelda games. I mean, because of this, like every second of it is a joy. You feel
Yeah.
like you're doing something great.
It feels with a lot of games you feel like you're, and I love so many games.
Pop-Tart coffee creamer.
What flavor?
Ooh.
Brown sugar cinnamon.
What do you do? Can I put it in something to try it? Can I just taste it? Yeah.
We'll put in some milk for you.
Pour me a cup.
Yeah, mix it with milk.
I don't know what I was gonna say. It's gone. Oh
Zelda.
yeah. In so many games, like there's big set pieces that you're going through, and they're exciting and fun. But there's the lulls in between. They're not bad. It's just they're the lulls in between. And in Tears of the Kingdom, you're making the whole experience. Like they have the story, and there's going to be big set pieces in that. But you're going out and literally making the adventure and doing what is fun for you. And there's so many ways to do it that it's like limitless. It's just unbelievable.
It was cool.
Unbelievable.
It's cool because, over the years, I'd be watching like Breath of the Wild videos online. And like, this is probably what sparked Tears of the Kingdom. But like all the crazy stuff that people managed to do. And like, as a viewer of those, like, and someone who loved that game, it's like, I would love to do that kind of stuff, but I'm not clever enough or have the patience to break the game like that. I mean, not that it's breaking it, but you know what I mean? Like manipulate it like that.
Yeah.
But I can watch it and appreciate it. They found a way to give you that, but make it so easy and so creative. And I can only imagine just, I mean, I've got a handful of parts that are in those little bubbles. I can only imagine how many more parts there's going to be, because there's like just so much.
Go down in the chasm, because there's a whole bunch of things you
Man.
haven't seen before. There's just random, I don't even want to call them outposts. There's like they're kind of like little libraries that are filled with shells with Zonai parts, all kinds of stuff. So I was like, there's ones where I was like, I don't even know how to use this. So I hit it to see what it does. And I'm like, oh, and then I built all kinds of weird things, and it's great.
Yeah, it's so
There's
cool.
something I wanted to say, summing something up, but it's gone. Oh yeah, I love video games. Not a surprise,
Really?
but for me, most games, no matter how much I love them, I will
They're
play for
garbage.
a couple hours, and then I'm like, I'm taking a break. I'm gonna go eat something, and I'll whatever.
This isn't that kind of game.
No, I played it yesterday. Probably like 6 hours. Like I started at like 7:30, and the only reason I stopped is I had to go to bed. I was like, I got to do the community day walk. I
Yeah.
got to go to bed.
But that pissed you off.
It did doubly so. But like, thank you. I've never like, not once was I like, I'm getting tired, I'm getting bored, I'm getting frustrated, I want to stop. Never ever any of those feelings. Just
Yeah.
I was in it, and I had thoughts to myself where I was like, I can keep going. Like this is great. Like I just want to go see everything. So it's very dangerous. 8-bit Lego says William George sent a video of a shrine, and 8-bit Lego replied saying, I literally just finished that shrine. How crazy is
Nice.
that? Piper doesn't want to be picked up. Any more closing remarks before we move on to other stuff?
I mean, can we call it an early show so that we can get back to playing this game?
Ooh,
Yeah, there was
how much?
I
is
just
this?
like.
Am
I
I
like
gonna
the
die?
inventory- I like the
Calories,
changes to the
25.
inventory. I like that I can access things pretty readily.
Yeah.
And I can adjust things. And I like that
Feel like
so far the abilities don't have to
cream guy?
recharge. Like the rewind thing, you don't have to wait to go and use it on something else. Like
Yeah.
it's so I feel like
For
They-
me,
they
it was just
improved those.
the energy cell I've had to let recharge, but that's only because I screwed something up and it has
Yeah,
to
that's-
recharge.
that
It's
happened
not
to me
really that
too.
big of a
Like,
deal.
I talked to a guy about building more energy cells. And I'm like, yeah, build away, man. Come on. And he's like, you need 100 of the
Yeah.
triangle things.
You
And I'm
have
like,
one.
see you later, pal.
Yeah, that was funny.
See you in about 40
I
years.
love those
What can I
guys,
get
man.
for
I love
one?
those robots so much. Yeah, right. Exactly. Because I had one when he told me that, and I was like, well, I guess I'll be back later.
Yeah.
One of those is what, 3 of the other ones or something? Like you have to.
3 of the whatever they're called will give you 1 of the triangle ones. Yes. So.
Oh, I also wanted to say, what?
Oh my god. Amazing. Amazing.
What's amazing?
Pedro
name of the cat.
Pascal
That's-
is a
that is
cat
great.
name.
Nice. That's
Sorry, Kirby,
awesome.
what were
Hello,
you gonna
PT.
Oh, I was just gonna say, one good thing about the fact that Nintendo almost never, lowers their game prices is that I can buy a game like this, on the day it's released and not feel bad.
Yes, you outside of like a player's choice line, you're not gonna. And at most, if they do an eShop sale, it'll be 30% off.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I got it
yeah,
for
that's
50.
that's it.
And it was because I didn't even own a Switch when Breath of the Wild came out. I don't think I started playing it until it had been out for like maybe a year or more.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was so happy to get in the mail yesterday.
I was saying GameStop had a pretty good deal if you didn't mind trading in games. They had a long list of titles, and they were allowing you to trade in 2 and get Tears of the Kingdom for $20. So,
But
Oh,
the
wow.
list was a rough list, man. It was like all the best games. You've
oh,
ever
it's
heard
games
of.
you probably
Like,
don't want to get rid of.
Yeah,
But if
makes
you're playing the
sense.
game like we all used to play back in the day when we were kids,
Yeah,
it's
thank,
an option.
thank goodness we don't have to
You won't
play
re-
that game anymore.
You won't regret it until 20 years from doing it. So,
No,
Where's
but
the
I don't
news?
know. Maybe you wouldn't regret it with Tears of the Kingdom. Maybe it'd be like, I could get rid of Jedi Survivor for Tears of the Kingdom. That's I can't tell you how many times I've seen that meme this week or since Tears of the Kingdom
About
came
Jedi
out.
Survivor.
It's the one from Toy Story where the kid is looking at the 2 toys and he's throwing one away and he's taking the other. And he's taking in the meme, he's taking Tears of the Kingdom and he's throwing away. And I've seen Jedi Survivor and whatever else is out right now.
Redfall.
People are throwing away Redfall for a whole bunch of reasons, but
Dead Island 2.
Dead Island 2. Oh yes,
I would love to throw it
do you
away.
want to talk about that before we move on? Do is not cosplaying as Link today.
Yeah,
He is. Life is imitating art.
yeah. When you you guys didn't know this. This is an early Do's view.
Oh, sorry for the audio listeners only. He's wearing a wrist brace.
Yeah, I'm wearing a wrist brace on my right hand. So yeah, an early dues view. This is a rumor, but it's true because it happened to me. When you pre-order Dead Island 2 and play it way too much, you get a wrist brace at Walmart so that you can hopefully play Twilight Princess or whatever. What's the game?
Play it.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Princess.
So yeah, basically I played. This is so embarrassing, and I'm not going to be. So this is really embarrassing. So basically what your parents told you all these years about, like, don't play too many video games, you're going to hurt yourself. And Nintendo even says, take a break. I played so much Dead Island 2 that I got repetitive stress disorder injury. Repetitive stress injury is what I think I have. Basically making my life no different in any other respect except when I pick up a video game controller and there's excruciating pain running through my thumb.
Aw.
And I don't know what to do. The wrist strap has been helping, and I figured, like, well, the pain will stop me from overplaying, right? Nope. I've played so much Zelda, I can't even help it. Like, I'm trying not to play so much.
I knew you were hurting when you texted you were going to play, and then like an hour and a half later, you texted that you thought you needed to take a break, and I was like, there's no way that you're not just going to play an hour and a half and stop. You must be in some serious pain.
I texted RMC because he knows about this. He has it from actually doing work at a computer, not being a 40-year-old baby child.
Will you stop doing this? It's not about that.
How do you stop? I mean, if something hurts, you stop doing it, right? It's just normal.
Yeah, but
You should.
That's why you stop touching the
You
stove.
should.
Pain
But here's
should
the
let
thing.
you
It's got
know.
nothing to do with video games. It's just a repetitive stress injury. I got it from doing work. Nobody's parents are going to be like, remember, don't work too much because you'll hurt your hand.
Yeah.
Like you're just lumping it in with video games because you think it's a silly thing. It can happen for anything.
Also, don't
happen
sit so
if you
close
jerk
to the
off too
TV.
much.
That's right.
Yeah.
Huh?
What?
It's just it's embarrassing,
Hey,
but
what
more than anything, it sucks because I want to play this game and enjoy it to the fullest, and I just, even when I'm enjoying it, I'm still thinking about my thumb because it hurts. You know, my whole like wrist and thumb action really hurts when I'm holding this computer. I iced it.
Did you heat it?
I didn't heat it actually.
Well, you should alternate.
Okay.
15 on, 15.
Heat and ice.
But I
or
also
east and
have,
height.
I got for my plantar fasciitis, but
icy
it didn't
hot.
work.
Mm.
That
Emu.
what is the one Paula Abdul Voltaren, like for arthritis? I got like the Walmart brand
Is it a
of
Star
it,
Wars character.
but it doesn't do much for my foot. I'll
General
give it to
Voltaren.
you if you want to try it and see if it.
Well, we'll see. I've got another wrist brace coming in the mail today.
Because that wrist brace is starting to hurt.
A wrist brace for the wrist brace.
Well,
Not for the other.
so this is more like a wrap, and I really wanted a brace, and they didn't have my size at the Walmart or the Target. But regardless, I it's kind of funny because basically for 2 years now I've been complaining that the PlayStation 5 is a piece of crap. There's nothing to play on it. Like, who would ever need it? I'm so upset that I bought this thing day one and like I've not even used it. Finally get a game for it, Dead Island 2. As you guys know, I loved it a little too much. And right before maybe the biggest game of my gaming career, which is, 30 years and counting at this point, Tears of the Kingdom is about to come out, and I injure myself playing a Sony PlayStation game. And then not only that, but I'm wearing a wrist strap just like Link is in this game, and I've got the Ultra Hand right here. It just hurts a lot more than Link makes it seem.
So you're gonna have to do a real life version of what happens in the game, which means you're gonna have to find a bum, cut his arm off, and it's your arm now.
I guess I will.
So
So it's embarrassing, but it's something that I've learned about myself and getting older and doing things like, it's
Well,
not you're not going to live forever.
You should
So
probably be like, and I'm not being like fresh. You should probably stop and stretch. Like,
I told him stretches, but I
Yeah.
didn't know what ones. I said I'm sure online will have something. You were talking about Sony. It's a good time to talk about this. Both Microsoft and Sony tweeted about Zelda releasing because they both know Everybody's going to play.
Are we back in news now?
So we're going to go into news in a second. Oh, by the way, we're not doing the real deal news. I'll skim through.
What did Sony say?
So Xbox, the official Twitter account for Xbox, says it's good to be back in Hyrule. Congrats, Nintendo of America, on Tears of the Kingdom, and they tagged Nintendo.
Well, of course, Microsoft's going to be classy. Tell us what Sony
Well,
said.
Sony. No, I'll tell
Sony
you.
was like,
I didn't read it.
We're high class, and
No.
but congratulations to the low class, or what did they say?
Sony said, "This is unfair. You're cornering the Hyrule market."
That's what they said.
Nintendo always gets all the Zelda games.
Or maybe they said,
Gee, it sure is boring around here.
PlayStation tweeted, have fun up there, Hylians, with a cloud emoji. So that's all they said. Did not tag Nintendo, did not belittle anybody, but it's very clear they were
Wait,
like,
what did they say?
Have fun up there, Hylians.
You know, in the clouds.
With your head in the clouds.
Yes. That's all they said.
Playing on that
there
inferior...
is, I don't know why, but there is like a tone to it, isn't
There's
there?
not
like
a tone, but they couldn't bring themselves to tag Nintendo. They're like, we can't put Nintendo's name in
Notice
there.
me, senpai.
We can't say
Notice
Zelda
me.
in there. We can't do it.
I want to know who's reading that tweet and being like, who the heck are the Hylians? You know, like being confused.
That's
like,
also
you know
why
that
they
people
did
are
it.
confused.
Yeah,
you know,
they're like, what could we say that's far enough
That's
away that people
cryptic.
wouldn't get it?
they're probably
Yeah.
like, cool. Maybe there's a new PlayStation game coming out called Hylian.
But now Sony's like, we're doing this argument with Microsoft about all this stuff, and we got to make ourselves look like the good guys. So now we got to say something about Zelda, but we don't want to say too much. So have fun up there, Hylians.
Enjoy-
That's it. Good enough.
Enjoy your inferior hardware.
Yeah, right. It was just funny because I'm not shocked Xbox did it, because Microsoft, even before they were trying to do this deal, has always been classy with that stuff. So props to them. Sony, very surprised to see it, but still, not as forward as Microsoft was. So
Didn't
it's just
Sony
funny.
just snag 3 more companies? Like,
It's
big-time
funny that this
companies?
stuff
like Mega Man and stuff or something. No, not Mega
nothing
Man, like
official. Nothing official.
Castlevania. right?
Konami rumors.
Really?
No, not taking the company exclusives on games. Rumored, nothing official. Rumored, but they have done stuff like that since this has come out, and I believe that Konami thing is going to be true. And it's funny that out of one side of their mouth, they're like, Microsoft can't do this, and out the other side, they're like, exclusive games over here. Like, it's disingenuous.
Man.
At the least.
So Konami would be, I guess they don't give a crap, right? It's whoever invented Castlevania's long gone, right? They don't have any say in that.
What do you
like,
mean? Allegiance
they
to
would
a
be
platform?
like, oh, a bunch of money, awesome. They wouldn't be like, I'd
Well,
love to see Castlevania on a Nintendo system.
It'll be
again.
a timed exclusive if I had to
Sorry,
guess, but also,
Konami?
yeah, Konami.
Castlevania, right?
Yeah, he's right.
To Sony?
What are you hearing?
I thought like Microsoft already had something special with Konami.
Konami has no special deal with anyone.
Oh.
Konami is rumored to be offering, or Sony is rumored to be offering Konami an exclusivity deal
Is that what I sound like?
for 3 games on PS5. It will be timed exclusive. They're not buying
Right.
it, Konami. They're not having these games only on the PS5. It'll be a timed thing. All of that is rumored right now. And it is Castlevania, a remake of Metal Gear Solid 3, and I don't remember. So there you go.
A remake of Metal Gear Solid 3?
Yes. Because I would imagine Konami is still way too afraid to make a new Konami game because Kojima's not there.
And
Hmm.
because it's Sony and they don't want to make anything new, they want to make remakes of things.
A new Castlevania,
And a remake of
Metal Gear Solid 3.
that's what
I think Konami would be deathly afraid of making a new Metal Gear without Kojima. Since Kojima left, there has not been a new Metal Gear. So, some point here's what Konami should do:
Wasn't there-
swallow your damn pride and work, at least collaborate with Kojima on the next Metal Gear.
Wasn't there there was a bad Metal Gear that came out after he left, right? Metal Gear Rise or something, or
card game.
There
with
wasn't
like
a
zombies.
bad game.
It was like Metal Gear Zombies. It was after Phantom Pain.
I don't know.
I'll have to look it up.
Are you talking about the one that Platinum made? Because that was a spin-off.
Metal Gear Survive. Is that maybe that's not it.
I got. If somebody in the chat says it, I believe them. Metal Gear Survive. Can you hear me?
3 people are saying it.
Metal Gear Survive, 2018 survival game developed by
Yeah,
Konami, digital
that's the
published
one.
by Konami.
But they're not. I guess we're not counting that as a real Metal Gear game.
I forgot about it. Yeah, I mean, it counts as a Konami or as a Metal Gear game made without Kojima. But I was thinking like, Metal Gear Solid 6 or something. Yeah. Spin-off, whatever, but mainline, yeah, I would see different because there's been spin-offs before that Kojima wasn't involved with either. So, but worth noting, yes. So yes, rumored, but anyway, there's all your talk of Legend of Zelda. We are done. If you're only tuned in for Legend of Zelda, well, Tears of the Kingdom specifically, then that conversation's over. We will do news, but I'm really going to blast through it unless there's something important. Josh, if you please.
What are the next European?
No, Josh. I think we might skip that. Thank you. I'll do this. Oh my God, this was this week. I forgot. Jesus Christ. It was what I was complaining about last week, Nintendo's financial results. I survived it. Thankfully. What do we got in here we're talking about? There's all the...
Like, I don't want to wish this or, like, think about it, really, but if you didn't survive it and, like, you're passing away and we're like, are you okay? What's going on? You're like, it's the numbers. It's the... Like, if it really killed... Would that really kill
died
you?
from the numbers?
Yeah.
Numbers.
Well, I feel like that's while I'm covering it. So, let me see. You can go in and read like the sales data and all that stuff. Obviously, Nintendo didn't make that as much money this fiscal year as they did last year because we're 7 years on with the Switch. Hardware, Switch sold 18 million units, pretty much. That's 22% drop year over year. They're aiming for 15 million units in the next fiscal year.
But they lowered their number, right? To that number?
They made a new projection. New fiscal year, new projection. We are done with the current fiscal year. We are into the new one. So that was their first projection for next year. And analysts are, of course, were like, well, they said everything wrong. We've been down this road before. They're like, I mean, NickyHill, you heard one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. And I also heard one. What was the one you heard?
Is the Switch doomed to the same fate as the Wii U?
How much dumber of a statement could you make? Could there be a headline to prove you know nothing about what you're less than nothing from what you're talking about? A system that sold 125 million units versus a system in 6 years or 5 years that sold 13. How do you make that statement? That's so ignorant in so many ways. It's unbelievable.
It's just funny because, like, ultimately, yes, it is going to have the same fate. It is going to be retired, and there will be a new system taking its place. But to say that a system that's been exponentially, it is going to be retired, and there will be a new system taking its place. But to say that a system that's been exponentially more successful is doomed to the same. No.
Yeah. Also, I saw an analyst say Nintendo's in real big trouble because their president doesn't seem like the right one to take them into the cloud technology. What the fart are you talking about? Who's saying any of this? Like, no one's talking about doing anything cloud related at Nintendo in particular. And what evidence do you have of anybody wanting any cloud stuff? Cloud is there. I don't mind it, but the vast majority of gamers have shown that they want nothing to do with cloud-based games. Like, why would you want any company to head in that direction? There's no proof there that that's what people want. There's no revenue. Look at Google Stadia. I don't get it. And these are the people that are making money on stock and raising and lowering prices. It's so dumb. This is how the world works.
Their projections are always like seemingly like incredibly exaggerated. And then when companies don't hit those projections, while the flip side, like I don't know, it's just crazy swings.
Every time Nintendo makes a projection for what they're going to sell, they're like, Nintendo's too conservative with their guesses. Why are they like that?
Right.
And then I don't know.
Regardless of the fact that they're being realistic with their numbers, they're how many systems did they sell the last quarter? Or was
18.
it the
quarter? I don't know. Quarter.
So this past year they sold 18 million.
18 million this fiscal year,
and so like
more than
it seems like these analysts want them to sell 25 million the following year or something or whatever.
A system,
and it's like more and more people already have it. They're not going to keep buying it.
Yeah,
that's the same reason we were talking about like a long time ago about all the streaming services, that they start canceling shows because new subscriptions aren't being filled or like opened. It's because the people are already subscribed. You're still getting everybody else's money, but because they
It's not good
don't have
enough.
they don't have millions of new subscriptions, they start canceling shows. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And these are all the people with the money. So I don't know what's going on. We have an update to the million sellers list from this financial report. The best-selling game on all of Switch is still Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It has now sold, again, 125 million Switch owners out there. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has sold 53 million units. Number two is Animal Crossing New Horizons at 42 million. Smash Brothers is next at 31 million. Breath of the Wild is next at 29 million, just shy. That's only the Switch number. And then so on and so on. Let me see what new entries we have on this list. Bayonetta is at 1.07. Bayonetta 3 is at 1.07 million units sold. Metroid Prime Remastered is at 1.09 million units sold. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe is at 1.46 million units sold. Fire Emblem Engage is at 1.61 million units sold. And I'll throw Xenoblade in there. Xenoblade is at 1.86 million. So pretty much everything Nintendo has released in the last 9 months or so is over a million seller.
Doomed.
And so on and so on and so on.
Get him out of here.
Get him
30 frames per second.
What
It's funny.
murder?
So like, I don't remember. Like, Positive News comes out and everything, and their stock price goes up or goes down, and then there was no news. It's just that Tears of the Kingdom was released, and
Stock went up,
yesterday
yeah.
it
I
jumped
saw
up.
that. It's like 4% or something. Moving on, Mr. Furukawa, Nintendo's president, also talked candidly about the Switch, saying, I think he's trying to be like, hey, analyst, you're really dumb. Because he's like, it's going to be hard to keep the momentum going for Switch in its 7th year, but we're going to do our best and see what happens. Like, he's trying to be like, this thing's 7 years old, people. Like, it's not going to sell like it used to. And like you said, NickyHill, we're in 125 million hands already. Like, how many more people are going to buy this thing? His full quote was, sustaining the Switch's sales momentum will be difficult in its 7th year. Our goal of selling 50 million units this fiscal year is a bit of a stretch, but we will do our best to bolster demand going into the holiday season so that we can achieve the goal. End quote. There you go. So,
You know what they could do?
smart guy.
Little forced obsolescence, one quick update, and you got a bunch more million sold.
They need a Switch Pro. Yeah, just do that.
No, just have an update that bricks your system, and everyone's going to be buying new systems.
Yeah, that'd be it. That's true.
It's for Apple.
The Destructo 94 says something this year has got to be happening. Rumors Nintendo has a very light second half of the year. They're not holding a June Direct, and now apparently there's no new hardware coming this fiscal year. Yes, Tears of the Kingdom is a huge release and shouldn't be undersold. However, it releases Friday, and there's still a whole 6 months left. Yes, Pikmin 4 is also slated, but that's extremely niche series that really only appeals to hardcore Nintendo fans. If Nintendo expects to sell 50 million more Switches, they need more than just Scarlet Violet, Mario Kart 8 DLC for the holidays. I will agree with one part of your thing, and that is Pikmin 4 is a niche series. I will agree with that. And that's where my agreements end. Also, again, that was all rumored talk, by the way.
And Nintendo's like, we're going to put out Tears of the Kingdom. That's going to be hundreds of hours of gameplay for these people. They don't need anything for a while. And a bunch of people are probably be like, beat it.
I wrote a Patreon
Just
like
came
that
out 3
too.
days ago.
I was like, games come out that we wait for years, and then people beat it in a couple days, and they're like, what's next? Where's the next game? I've been waiting forever for a new game. Where's the game? What's going on?
Your Patreon was a lot more eloquently worded than that.
Yeah, the podcast brings out the
I
worst.
thought it
in
was
me.
a really nice Patreon
Thank you.
post, to be honest.
Nintendo also, you know what? I'll mention this very quickly. Nikkei, the news outlet, says they have a source that's close to Nintendo, and their source says that, I want to make sure I get this exactly right. Quote, development seems to be progressing well, end quote, on a Switch successor. So whatever hardware comes after the Switch. Again, this insider says, quote, a product launch won't happen before next spring at the earliest, end quote. Nintendo has not officially said anything about a successor as far as when it will release or what it is, but they have confirmed that they are doing one, obviously. Who When will it show up? What will it be? What will it do? No clue.
I couldn't care less
I
at this
got
point.
no idea.
let me get a little further in Tears of the Kingdom, and I'll start caring about other things again.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. This was really interesting.
Go ahead.
GQ magazine did a survey of 300 game developers,
Survey says
press people, and so on to see what is the best game of all time.
And found out that gamers are highly ugly.
And number one, believe it or not, was Flicky. No, I'm so sorry, Mommy.
Oh.
652 games were named by these 300 plus people. The votes were tabulated. Obviously, the games that got the most votes. That's how, or the depending on the amount of votes that the games got, that's where they landed in this list. It's the top 100 list. I will start with 10 and we'll go to 1. Unless you guys want to guess.
no.
Okay. Anybody want to guess?
No, thank you.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
okay.
Number 10, Half-Life 2. Excellent game. Number 9, Dark Souls. I think it's a great
is all
game. I don't know about top 10. All systems. Yep. All countries, all people. Number 8, Portal 2. Yes. Genre, not genre defining, but perfection of the formula before. I agree. Number 7, Metal Gear Solid. Watershed moment. Definitely agree with that. Number 6, Mass Effect 2. The best one in the series, I would say.
Yep.
Excellent game.
One of my favorite games of all
everything
time.
about why we love Mass Effect. Great game.
Mhm.
Number 5, Witcher 3. Excellent choice. No complaints there. Number 4, Bloodborne. I liked Bloodborne. I don't know about a top 10 game. I don't know about number 4 out of the top 10 of all time.
I have a feeling we're getting to something that's going to be like flipped at coffee table or something.
Nope.
Okay. Just the way you're like,
Number
I support
3.
this. I support this. And he's going to be like, this piece of garbage.
No. No, I promise. Number 3, someone at this table will be very excited.
Bucky O'Hare.
Tetris, number 3.
All right.
Very great choice.
I think that's essential.
Really, Josh? Nothing to say? Tetris gets the number 3
Oh,
best game of
Josh,
all time?
I was wondering who you're talking about. I was like, you're the biggest Tetris fan here.
Wow. We all forgot about Josh.
Well, we don't like
I
the...
didn't.
Oh, wait. No, he's not soundboard.
You
Continue.
guys are going to give him a
don't
complex.
want to be here.
Josh, I want you to be here.
There's
I
a lot of
apologize
people
for
that
my
don't want you to be
compatriots.
here, apparently.
Shout out to my bro.
I'm your bro. Always your bro. Ride or die.
Better shout out to the haters.
Number 2, The Last of Us. Just The Last of Us.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
I think that deserves...
Sure.
I don't know about number 2 overall, but top 10 easy.
Hey,
and I'll listen to an argument for number 2, certainly. I would swap
Recently
I would
nominated.
swap Tetris and The Last of Us. I would
or
swap their
recent-
places.
Not nominated, but actually entered into the Game Hall of Fame, right?
That's right. They made it. And number 1, The
Flappy
Legend of
Bird.
Zelda
Oh.
Breath of the Wild, not Flappy Bird. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me. It's a franchise that's been around for 30 plus years, as an installment that is bigger sales than any of the other ones before it, is the best reviewed game of all time. Like, all the arguments are there, all the boxes are checked. I think it makes sense. But go check out GQ's.
Drastically different format than all the other stinkers in the series.
That's right. Go check out GQ's full list, because again, I said this comes from 300 game developers and press people combined. So they really went all out to put together a list that they felt would be fair.
That's a pretty
And-
solid list.
Yeah,
to be honest.
it's a good list. No complaints there.
Yeah, I mean, Bloodborne instead of like Mario. I mean, come on. Mario's not in the top 10? All right.
I'm
Okay.
trying to think of what
But which
Mario you would
specific
put in the top
Mario?
I could
10.
see like
yeah.
Mario Kart
Eh.
or Smash being in.
They're fun. They're great. They're amazing, but they're not like defining moments for the game industry.
Galaxy.
You can't think
Galaxy
of one
is the
Mario
one I
game
would
that's
argue.
a defining moment for the
Oh, I
game
guess
industry.
Super Mario Brothers would be the one. Yes, if you're, I'd go Galaxy or the original Mario.
If it was a
If
list
you're
of
going to
of-
argue a top 10 placement,
No
one of those.
64, huh?
Yeah, I give
Interesting.
revolutionary for 3D. I'll go. I'll sure lump that in with the other 2.
It just seems weird that Bloodborne's that high up there. I mean,
Bloodborne is the one I have the biggest
it's-
problem with. I played Bloodborne.
and-
I really like Bloodborne,
and
but
Dark Souls, Peace and Love, like it's blood. Like Dark Souls is like Bloodborne 2. Like, let's go next.
Dark Souls
They are
was
very
first.
similar.
Then Bloodborne's Dark Souls.
Dark
2.
Souls definitely deserves to be there because that birthed that genre, and that's become a huge thing. Like
Yeah,
that's
but
that's
I
another-
personally don't like that
I know,
genre.
I
So
know that's a big thing in the game industry. So I get it. Bloodborne, I don't understand that being the number 4 best game of all time. I don't think it deserves top 10. Being the top 100, sure. I put it in the
fine.
final quarter.
See, Bloodborne
Blood boiling.
is the one. If you were playing Family Feud, that's the one that wouldn't get turned. It would go to the other family, and they wouldn't know it.
It wouldn't get turned by you guys because you don't play those games.
No, what I'm saying.
Bloodborne and Dark Souls will probably be what a lot of people would name first.
If we asked 300 models, they would pick Bloodborne, sure.
Models.
I mean, it's GQ magazine. What are we talking about here?
Oh, it does say the fine print does
Yeah.
say models. You're right. First comment comes from Tendon, and they say all solid picks, but this list really wears its recency bias on its sleeve. I thought that as well. Why Super Mario Brothers stuck down at 95? Yeah, I agree with that.
95.
Granted, they
That's
admit
an
to playing
insult.
fast and loose with the methodology. Okay, fine. Yeah, I still think they did a good job with the list, but yeah, I think we can agree that it deserves to be a little bit higher than 95.
It really goes to show you how far Halo has fallen. You know, Halo is
Well, it's
like
the top 100
nothing.
list. I don't know. Maybe Halo's on there.
I'm sure it's on there, but like the fact that it's not even in the conversation and no one cares. You know what I mean? Because it's gone. It's done. They've
Microsoft
ruined it.
has
Isn't that weird?
Ruined it. I'll agree. They've killed their biggest franchise.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are we the only two that played Prince of Persia, the reboot with the gauntlet? Did you guys play that?
The one that was just called Prince of Persia, or the one that came after that?
I don't know.
What system are you talking about?
360?
What do you mean? The first new Prince of Persia in a long time?
They had like the trilogy, Prince of Persia.
Oh,
and then
that
they came out with the
weirdo
one
one.
with the
Yeah,
glove.
yeah.
I
Nobody
keep
played
thinking
that.
about that with Link running around with this hand.
I don't think the
that's like-
developers of that game are thinking of it. Like nobody talks about. That's the one nobody talks about. I mean, I own it.
I mean,
and
it was a
forgot I have
beautiful
it.
looking game at the time. I remember.
Well, at
but-
this point, I think I've played so many games where you're playing a character who has like a weird like thing on his or her arm.
The weird arm genre.
Yeah.
Speaking of weird,
Yeah.
Twin Peaks. The Legend of Zelda:
Enough said.
Link's Awakening. For decades now, we've known that Nintendo was inspired by Twin Peaks when they created Link's Awakening. Nintendo's developers have talked about that very upfront. Well, apparently there's more to the story.
Yeah, how is this just coming out now?
Because according to Mark Frost, co-creator of Twin Peaks, he was there for everything Twin Peaks. According to him, he met with Nintendo and talked about ideas for the game. On Twitter,
But what he didn't say is that it was in a dream.
that's right. On
So-
Twitter, he
A
says,
backwards talking
Mark
game.
Frost says, anybody ever played Link's Awakening? I met with Nintendo about it and gave them some ideas. Never tried it myself.
Really? That's interesting that he would never try it.
Anybody play this game? So clearly, he's right off the bat doesn't know anything about games. That's
Yeah,
fine.
Never
No, gotta
played a
know.
game in
That's
his
fine.
life. That's fine.
But
So
I
weird.
replied to him and I was like, please let me interview you. Please. I haven't heard anything. It seems like he's very sparingly active on Twitter, but this is mind blowing.
he's a pretty old guy.
Over the game. Like, that's nuts. So it wasn't just inspired. Nintendo's not wrong in saying it was inspired by, but they met with the co-creator of Twin Peaks to talk about the game. So,
Yeah, I wonder
That's
what the
nuts.
heck that was all about.
oh, I mean,
Like why didn't we hear this earlier? Because we heard all about the allusions to Twin
Yeah.
Peaks and all that stuff, and then we're
and
just
what
hearing
made Mark
this now.
Frost say now?
Well, that's what I'm thinking is Mark Frost is the one to say it. Nintendo didn't say it because I think Nintendo doesn't want to owe him any money.
I don't think it's any of that. I just think he probably they met and they didn't really say much of anything. It was like, we love Twin Peaks. We're inspired by it in a game we're creating. And he's like, oh, it should be a dream. And they're like, okay, and goodbye. It's like, what's his face? George R.R. Martin in Elden Ring. Like, oh, he worked on that game. Yeah, he named like the Dung Master or whatever that character's name is. And
Dung?
like, there's some
Really?
crap related boss name. I don't remember what it is. How much did
the-
he really write for the game? Probably like a page or two.
The
And
Great
he's
Mighty
like, here's
Pooh?
the lore. You do whatever.
Right.
So I don't remember.
It's still cool
The
though.
money.
The Shovel Lord. I don't remember what the character's name is. Somebody know that character's name?
The Great Mighty
Yeah,
Pooh.
that's it. The Great Mighty Pooh.
I
Definitely.
don't know.
So yeah, just crazy. And I'd
E-ring.
love to get more information on this, but we don't have any right now. Special thanks to Nintendo for
Who, by the way, is a very big
Sharing
Twin Peaks
that-
fan.
sharing that tidbit with me. PT has a comment. Zelda, 11:30 a.m., February 24th. Entering island of Koholin, 5 miles south of the Hyrulean border, 12 miles west of Termina Line. Never seen so many cuckoos in my life. And that's
But
for
he
the Twin
doesn't
Peaks
say
fan
I'd
out there.
rather be here than Philadelphia.
MomBrain, for you, I'll give you the next comment as well. It comes from D says hi. They say the owls are not what they seem.
It's true.
There you go. Womp, 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 womp.
And with Tears of the Kingdom, we can all be log ladies because we cut down a lot of logs.
That's
and put 'em
right.
together.
That's right. And also because we poop ourselves because we don't get off the couch. So we're pushing out logs.
Not that, let the record show the log lady never did such a thing. So
That's why she died.
Oh,
Never pooped.
No.
because she never pooped.
Yep.
no.
She cared for her logs too much.
She lived a
Just
long.
one log.
She lived a long, full life.
Yeah, very full. A very long, full, bloated life. We got the European and North American releases, but I think we're just going to let you read them on your own. NickyHill, unless you feel very...
Tears of the Kingdom
No.
came out this
Okay.
week. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, this isn't a like, Tears of the Kingdom came out, nothing else matters, but because I'm skipping stories so much.
That's what I'm like.
I know
RMC's
you
not
are.
like
That's
that.
why I'm saying that's not what we're doing.
Well,
Don't make me go back and read these because I will, and you'll regret it.
I'll be quiet.
The way the joy left your face was great.
I'll be quiet.
What do we got here? This was pretty cool. Nintendo did a 5-part Ask the Developers written feature with the team of Tears of the Kingdom, or representatives from the team of Tears of the Kingdom. And we learned a whole bunch of things this week. For example, we learned that Nintendo's team did watch everything you guys were doing in Breath of the Wild. They watched every way you broke the game, every way you played the game, all the things you wanted to do. They looked at all that, and you inspired them with Tears of the Kingdom, and you lifted their spirits as well. Mr. Al Newman says there was some talk about those videos among the development team. The direction of giving players the freedom to do anything in the game came precisely because of the reactions of people who played Breath of the Wild. Even though it's been 6 years since the last title was released, many fans still post drawings, comments, and videos on social media. This is followed by comments from Mr. Satoru Takizawa, who says, even though it's been 6 years since the last title was released, many fans still post, blah, 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 blah. Especially when the team is facing difficulties during development. These things light up the eyes of our staff and make them think, all right, let's show them what we got. I really want to thank all of our fans. Fujibayashi also says, I totally agree. Our fans have motivated us so much in the development of this game. Thank you so much.
Fujibayashi is legit. I was looking that guy up. He's like 50, and for like 20 years he's been directing like all the hottest Zelda games, like
Right
all
now-
the handhelds, and then Breath of the Wild, and then
Right now is his first real time, George, in the limelight. He's been like at all the events. He's in the video that Nintendo put out on launch day to be like, it's out,
Nice.
guys. Thanks for that.
That's where I saw him, and I was like, what? I mean, I was like, I should know this guy, and he looks really young.
Yes.
So I looked him up, and I was like, wow, this guy's been doing it.
It's
Like,
him and Al Newman. There, Al Newman was very forward about it. He was like, after Breath of the Wild, Fujibayashi had an idea, and he's like, "What do we let him like build things and like the vehicles and stuff?" And he did it in a makeshift way in Breath of the Wild and put together like a prototype design. And him and Al Newman took it to Miyamoto, and they're like, "What do you think of this idea?" And Miyamoto's like, "Go for it." So it's his brainchild. The whole building and all that stuff it came from him. So good on also Al Newman to be like, he did it. Like I was like, this is great, let's do it. But it's his idea. It came because of him. So good for him, man. Because Al Newman's been the face of Zelda for decades now. But he's like, listen, this other guy too, and it's great of Nintendo to be like, let's get this guy out there. Let's make sure people
yeah,
know.
that's,
So
that
that's
is
cool.
great.
Very
In case
cool.
people
Very
miss
cool.
it. I don't want anybody to.
Anthropy says, and people say Nintendo doesn't listen to their fans. This was a great little read, by the way. Yeah, it's a great interview. I dread when they come out because they're a lot of work for me, but you always learn really cool stuff. Like the fact that Al Newman played through Tears of the Kingdom 20 times to test it before it came out. Poor man. And he said he still
Why
learned
poor man?
things
He
even on
enjoyed
his
it,
last
though, right?
playthrough.
Yeah.
But still, like the deadlines, the pressure, the fact that you got to play through it 20 times. You're
He
like, I've
didn't
seen
do
this line
any
of
side
dialogue.
missions. He saw nothing.
Well, he said he's still seeing new things. So
He loaded up the game and like, after you beat it, like you restart it right before you beat it. So he was just like, yeah, I beat it 20 times.
I'll mention this one very quickly. Rumor of the next Mortal Kombat game coming to the Switch. What's the new Mortal Kombat game? We don't know yet. But NetherRealm Studios did put out a teaser that shows a clock. And it shows a clock ticking past 11. And after 11 is 12. But instead the clock goes to the number 1.
Oh, nice.
So it seems like it might be time for a complete. I could
Time
either
for a
be a
new
remake or a
clock.
complete reboot. And a reboot seems to be the way to go because the storyline reboot, at least, because time travel and all that has been a big part in recent Mortal Kombat. So that looks like a reset. But that's all official. There's an official teaser for what comes next in Mortal Kombat. We just don't know what it is yet. It's the clock teaser. Here's the rumor: the new game will be called Mortal Kombat 1. It will be coming to the Switch. NetherRealm, and especially what's his name? Ed Boon is a huge Nintendo fan. So, I mean, I'm not surprised with this.
Boone is a name that you trust.
Now, Noob Saibot. That is not a name you trust.
Because he's a ninja.
There's a premium and a collector's edition. Of course, collector's edition, spelled with a K. The reveal is coming in the next few weeks. That lines up with whatever Dorito Pope's event is that's coming up, Summer Games or whatever. Apparently, it's targeting a September 2023 release, and it will have a character pass, as other Mortal Kombat games did, and it will feature characters from other Warner Brothers properties. So we've seen in the past, like, there's been crossover content like Ash from Evil Dead and Terminator in Mortal Kombat and all that.
Probably.
And rumor is Homelander from The Boys will be in it, as will Peacemaker. So from Peacemaker. So I'm down with Peacemaker.
Peacemaker from Peacemaker.
Kufu the Mummy says, worst naming convention since John Wick 3 was the only one with a subtitle. Yeah, it's going from Mortal Kombat 1 all the way up to 11 and then going back to 1.
Yeah, no one's going to be confused by any of this.
Well, this is Roman numeral 1, and that was just the regular one.
At this point, I feel like if you're going to buy those games, you're going to buy them. And if you're not, you're not. Maybe I'm wrong.
What does that mean?
It means I haven't played a Mortal Kombat game since Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate Edition, and I don't plan on it. And I feel like they're making these games for people who buy them. So congratulations to them. I don't understand.
Are you just mad that we're talking about this because you don't play it?
I'm sorry that I'm sounding mad because I'm really not mad. I'm just making a statement about they keep making these games. It doesn't matter. They're not great, in my opinion, but it's my opinion. So people can play them and enjoy them.
They're not great based on you not playing any
I've never
of them
played
after
any
3.
of them. Never. No.
You never? You
After
played
3.
Yeah, after 3.
Yeah.
So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Look, how many times can we beat each other up on a stage? Again, peace and love. Now it sounds like I am getting angry. I'm not. I'm just making a statement. Tears of the Kingdom is so good.
Yeah, well, the opinion of they're all bad.
That was okay. That's irrational. I haven't played any of them. Obviously, I have no frame of reference there. But like, they're just going to keep making them. So congratulations to them. I don't know what they want us to say.
That's what I'm trying to ask you. What is the point of your statement? Do you not want me to talk about Mortal Kombat?
No, not at all. It's just I don't know. It's like
Mortal Kombat 11 was the best-selling Mortal Kombat of any of them in terms of units.
So then I'm wrong.
So what I'm trying to say is, yeah, if it was like they're going to make them and people are going to buy them, if that was the case, or you're like the people who bought them are going to buy them, if that was the case, then the series would go down in time because people would die. Right. The numbers are going up because more people than ever are buying.
You're right. Then I guess I'm just kind of like, really, we're going to remake this?
I hope Kirby will.
Isn't every sequel a remake of it?
We don't know if it's a remake. I hope Kirby will back me up in this. I could be wrong. But story in the recent Mortal Kombats were a lot of fun and actually added, like, the story mode in the game was actually great to play through because it gave you.
I'll shut my mouth because I didn't realize this was actually good. I thought this was just some stuff.
No, I would say definitely. I would say easily Mortal Kombat games have gotten better since, let's say, 6 onward. Like they, especially when it comes to story mode, like there's a legitimate reason to go through single player and play it because you see a whole story with all the characters and you transition through the characters and play as them in different fights throughout the story. So it's not just like you're going up a tower and here's the next competitor. It's like things are going on. There's a big story. They're fun. I really like them.
Would this be the first one on Nintendo in a while?
No, the last one was on.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
11 is on this. I have it on Switch. I played it on Switch. I played through the single player the whole way because I was like, yeah, I'll get it. I really like the single player. I'm not competitive. I'm not playing online. I don't care about any of that, but they're fun. Yeah.
I withdraw my unfounded accusations of the games.
If
being
one of them
shite.
is on Game Pass, you should give it a shot. I mean, you're not going to pay anything.
Oh, I don't.
For it.
Games Passes. I don't do Games Pass.
I don't play games. Did you quit it?
I quit Games Pass a couple months ago. Yeah.
Did you really?
I wasn't playing any of the games on there. Yeah. What's the
Wow,
point of
big
paying
move, big
$15?
move.
Well, I can always come back and
Yeah,
pay $15 again. So I figured
didn't know.
Tears of the Kingdom's coming out. I haven't played anything since Hi-Fi Rush, and nothing was looking good to me. So I was like, get out of here. Xbox.
Just another developer came out and was talking about how their Game Pass sales hurt them. Or lack of sales, I should say. Moving on, I'll give you Nintendo's official statement on next hardware. So an investor was like, an investor that, again, is stupid and doesn't know Nintendo's history is getting to ask a question at an investors meeting. And he's like, you announced the Switch, then called the NX, over 2 years before the system came out. Should we expect that kind of window again this time? So completely ignoring why they did it, all the reasons we know. It's because the Wii U wasn't selling. So they're like, something else is coming. But this guy apparently doesn't know that because I don't know why he's there and why he doesn't know. But anyway.
Who cut you lawn?
Wait, is that what he said?
Well, you just have to wonder how people like this get in front of people to ask these questions when it's like someone like you should be asking these questions.
NickyHill, I'll read you his exact question. Nintendo Switch was announced under the development codename NX in March 2015, and then the official name was announced on October 2016 prior to launch in March 2017. Looking back, do you consider this as a success in terms of hardware marketing, given there was a space about 2 years between the initial announcement and launch? Do you think a similar interval between the announcement and launch of next-gen platform will be necessary? Right. So, no, you idiot. We already know why they did this. That was not they did it because they were in trouble. Like, how do you not know this?
I thought it's just kind of saying like, do you think you're gonna tell us and we're gonna have to wait 2 more years, or like might you just say like, hey, in 5 months this is coming out, like that just the window and the way it played out?
Well, then that would show them to be ignorant of Nintendo in another way, but it's an investor, so I would say the majority of them are ignorant of the company in general. So who knows? But here's what Nintendo did say about the Switch's successor.
Wait for you to announce it so that we can wait another waiting period? Like, how long do we wait in this line before we go in that line?
Furukawa, blah, 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 says at the bottom, the timing of the Switch announcement was a special case. Obviously, we all know this. He doesn't want to be like the Wii U sucked as far as sales went, and we had to scramble. So he says this: we will provide information about hardware and software at the appropriate time for each product and strive to reach a wide range of consumers. So the typical Nintendo response, you're not going to get any tidbits of real information until Nintendo feels like sharing. So there you go.
The answer could just be, we are making money.
The money.
Period. Like, that's all you need to know.
Not enough. Never enough. Why don't you guys do cloud gaming and work with Sony? This is my investor question.
That's what Sony is trying to argue now with the Activision thing? Is that like that's kind of what's holding them up in England? Is that like, or the UK? Like, they're concerned that Microsoft having Activision Blizzard will give them a corner, or have them corner the cloud gaming market.
No, that's not Sony's argument.
That's just the UK's argument.
The UK argument is related to cloud, and they have no idea what they're talking about. Sony's argument is they would say Sony's argument really is
they're not going to let us play the game.
They can't take Call of Duty; it's too important. That's what it is. If Sony,
you know what? Call of Duty is not on the top.
If
100.
Microsoft was like, we're buying Activision Blizzard, we're taking all their games except Call of Duty, then Sony wouldn't care. They wouldn't say anything. I believe. Could be wrong. No. We're just gonna do this one and then we're done. Unfortunately, there's a new episode of the Nintendo Power Podcast out right now. It's episode 57. It talks all about The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Sadly, this is the end of the Nintendo Power Podcast. Nintendo Power is once again dead. Chris Slate, friend of GoNintendo and personal friend, Chris Slate.
Didn't he used to be
write for
PlayStation
Nintendo Power?
Magazine? Oh, never mind. Next.
Maybe he did. He wrote for magazines. Maybe he wrote for.
I don't know.
Look him up. That's a good question. I don't know. He's been a lifelong Nintendo person as far as I can remember, but maybe he wrote for other magazines. 57th episode is final one. Chris Slate at the beginning of this episode says he says it in a very particular way. No more episodes planned for the Nintendo Power Podcast. He didn't want to come right out and say it's dead, it's done, it's over, but it's very clear that they don't have plans going forward to do any more episodes. He said there could be specials or one-offs, but As it is right now, they are done. So after 57 episodes, since 2017 to now, the Nintendo Power Podcast is over. We lost the magazine back in 2012. From 1988 to 2012, we got the show in 2017. Now it's gone in 2023. What will be the next thing to revive the Nintendo Power name? I don't know. It's not going to be a magazine.
Should be you.
What could they do? I don't know. Make it the name of some club or something. Become a Nintendo Power player or something. I don't know.
Just have their treehouse, but do it every week, and it'll be called the Nintendo Powerhouse.
I'm sure those people would hate that. Oh my god, that'd be a nightmare for me too. We were doing a live stream every week, and I have to watch that.
What if they
my
just?
God. I love those people,
Could
but
it be
no, thank you.
Nintendo
But
POWR?
why? I guess my question is, you didn't report on every single article they wrote in the magazine, so why would you report on every single show that is in the Treehouse Powerhouse, the Nintendo Powerhouse, which is what it's called?
Oh, yes.
You'll once we get to the rumor. Of the
I
week,
wrote
you'll
about
know.
the news that was in Nintendo Power, but not the reviews. I did review roundups, but not. I mean,
It seems like, look, with the amount of work you do every week, it's like 6 of one, half dozen the other. But you know better than I do. So.
well, with a magazine, you can sit down and get the biggest information, and all the answers are right there. Like everything's there on the page in print. With Treehouse Live,
you got to watch all the crap.
you got to watch it because you don't know what they're going to say. You'll be so like it's Tears of the Kingdom, but what are they going to show? I don't know. And is there going to be a surprise? I don't know. And plus, you're locked in for like 3 hours. You're locked in for like 3 hours.
It's like a phone call.
You gotta just do it. Like it's especially during old E3 days, it was a nightmare. Sticer says, wow, that's sad to hear. As much as this podcast was obviously lawyer checked each time before it went live, I really enjoyed listening to it regularly and hearing insight from people at Nintendo we don't normally hear from. I'll miss it. Chris Slate is the best. I'm sure next week something horrible will come out about him. But as far as Nintendo coverage and working alongside and my interactions with him, Chris Slate was the best. A very dedicated Nintendo person.
I did
so
know
good for
him from the PlayStation Magazine. That's back in September of 1997. I started getting PlayStation Magazine, and he was the editor-in-chief. And I was like, this guy's pretty cool. And then now he's been with Nintendo way longer than that. And I, for some reason, still think he's a traitor.
Can't ever escape it. Can't ever escape the. Never mind. I was going to.
You're not allowed to like all video games like me, Chris Slate. Only one type of video game.
You know, some would say you were a Nintendo trader at one point, but that's another topic for another day.
I don't write for anybody, so all the views you hear expressed here are my expressions.
Except for the news that comes across your desk.
Except for
that you report on.
yes.
Of course. All right. Well, let's talk about what we played outside of Tears of the Kingdom. MomBrain.
Merge Mansion, baby.
Any Pedro Pascal visits?
Sadly, no.
So sorry. Anything else you'd like to share on that, or are you good?
I'm good, thank you.
Oh, okay, Kirby.
I actually was playing quite a bit of Hollow Knight this week up until yesterday afternoon, obviously.
By the way, that game was again pushed back this week, the sequel.
Oh, what's the sequel called?
Silk Song. Hollow Knight Silk Song. Once again, we were hoping it was this year, and they're like, we need more time.
But yeah, I feel so bad for Hollow Knight because
he's dead inside.
Well, no, because like Tears of the Kingdom is just gonna like consume my life for
You're the kid from Toy Story.
The next,
I'm done with you.
Who knows how long? But
who knows how long is exactly right. It's so true.
As long as it takes, baby.
But yeah, I was progressing pretty steadily in Hollow Knight, and yeah, I was playing it yesterday up until my copy of Tears of the Kingdom arrived in the mail, and then I just started playing that.
Spit on the TV screen.
That's going to be a hard game to go back to.
Well,
after you set it down, like that's not as.
There's guides online. Write a note now where you are. Write a note on your phone where you were and what you're doing, and then if you ever want to go back,
and then when you read the note, you'll be like, "What the heck does this mean?"
Yeah, make sure you specify what note means, because I leave myself notes all the time, and I read it a week later. I'm like, "What the hell? Who wrote this?"
Well, start from the beginning. Good luck.
I saved right at like a right before like a boss fight. So at least I know.
Perfect place to test your skills when you go back to it.
Yeah, right.
What are these controls again?
Yeah, right.
I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll be in the mood to play something 2D instead of a great big sandbox game.
There's something about I just saw this about boss fights and challenges in your life. It was a guy talking about how he's like, all right, I'll do it with you guys. How many times have you gone into any game and you're fighting a boss and your first fight goes really well and then you lose it, but then you go back in to fight again and the next like 10 are horrible?
Yeah, you end up getting worse.
Yeah,
because you get so
we all
frustrated.
agree that's a thing, right? Because I've had that too.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I would imagine everyone's.
There's a guy, I don't know who he was,
experienced it.
but he was talking about it on TikTok, and he's like, he was talking about it in relation to like productivity and doing a better job in general. And he's saying that the people who study workforces and all this are studying games because of this phenomenon, because they're like, usually that's what happens. You do better in your first go and then things fall apart. And it's like, if you go longer, say you do it like a couple hours or so, it just gets worse. And 9 times out of 10, you have to stop because it's no good. And they say, but you go to sleep, you wake up the next day, you give it a try, and then it goes really well and you can beat the boss right away. And you're like, oh, he said they're studying that phenomenon to apply it to work for people, to have people work less and less time and do a better job. And he's like, this is a real thing. Like, we're seeing this is a thing. If you just go, he's like, if you're stuck in a boss, go play for a half hour. If it doesn't happen in a half hour, don't let the frustration set in. Just call it and then take a nap or put it off for a few hours and go back to it and try it again. And you'll be surprised at how often everything clicks for you. So I thought that was a really cool relation to games and work life. I found that interesting that somebody saw that in games and they're like, this could apply to the workforce. And that's a really cool study. But anyway, so maybe when you go back to that boss, you will beat them the first time.
Yeah, I've fought so many bosses at this point, and like they're great, but some of them are like so frustrating at the same time.
That's why you have a hard time holding down a job. Every job you get, you fight your boss.
Oh, don't fight the bosses. No, at least not physically.
Just the mini bosses.
I
You
fight
can
my
fight
boss
mini
sometimes.
bosses
Physically
at work all the time.
Yeah, I think
No, I don't think
fighting
I've
the
ever-
boss is a
Oh!
fireable offense.
I have
Fist
gone
fighting.
in. Yeah, I've practiced crisis prevention and intervention techniques.
No. I
with
don't
my
want this
boss.
loophole. That's not a fight. You're all agreeing
right.
to it. It's
Okay.
not. Well, I guess it's a sanctioned fight.
I usually win.
I usually win.
Before I walk into my boss's office, I like power up my move before I walk in there, and I just one
Like
swipe,
an
one
anime, yeah.
swing.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Oh yeah, I played Tears of the Kingdom, the new Zelda game.
No, we're not talking about that.
Oh, right. Sorry. I think it was just those two.
NickyHill, anything else?
Piper's here.
Piper's in the room. Piper is under the table.
Oh, she's rubbing up on me. I played Breath of the Wild for like an hour and a half. Played Solitaire, Tetris Effect, and Tears of the Kingdom. And I will say, Tears of the Kingdom, that just happened to me. The first time you get the one ability, and I tried to jump on a platform, and I landed it, and then like I messed up something else because I was confused on how the whole thing worked. And then I spent like 5 to 10 minutes trying to jump on the one platform again. Couldn't time it for the life of me. I didn't take a nap though.
For the life of me.
But yeah, so that's what I played. What about you, Do Michaels?
Do Michaels, played some Fortnite. It was nice. Fortnite was a good run.
I thought
we're
about
never gonna play it
asking
again.
last night if you guys would want to play, but I knew A, you would probably get mad at me, and B, neither
Certainly
of you would
not.
want to
No,
play.
no.
So
This is
I
the
didn't.
most that my friends list has lit up. Like the most people online at once, and they're all playing.
My
Tears of the
peak
Kingdom.
was 23 people last night.
I don't have
were
that
on
many
playing.
friends, but yeah.
Go ahead, Fortnite. You're done.
Yeah, I'm done with that. It was a good run. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe one day we'll go back to that. But I thought it would be. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say I played it and Tears of the Kingdom in the same night, but I played with family.
Yeah, I mean, well, that works for you, you know.
Yes, you don't have to play.
I'm a one game guy. I don't know about you, sleeping around with all these games. I'm a one game guy.
It's true, because even when you were playing 2 games at once, they were the same game. Link's Awakening
were.
on Switch and Game Boy.
They were.
That's great.
Yeah. One was like the morning after Link's Awakening, and one was the night of.
Oh.
Anyways, yeah, I thought it would be fun to share some of my Dead Island 2 stats, because I'm finally, I guess for now, finished with the game. And literally finished. If you're looking at me now, I'm holding up my wrapped up wrist. But so if you want to know how to get carpal tunnel, wait, what is this again? It's a repetitive stress injury. Thank you.
Repetitiveness is my job. My job.
I don't know why I can't just. I've been saying it for 3 days, but I can't just
because you
have
want
it
it
come
to
off
be
my
a
head.
disease.
I want it to be a disorder. I keep saying disorder, but it's not. I'm the only one out of order here. So I thought it'd be fun.
RSI, you
to
go with RSI a lot quicker.
RSI.
And then if somebody asks what's that, you got more time to think about it.
Yes,
Disorder.
Road something island.
Disorder injury.
That's it.
I thought it would be fun to share some of my stats from Dead Island 2, just because of what it's done to my hand. So 13,560 zombies slain. 13,560. That seems like a lot, right?
Is that one at a time, individual, hand-to-hand combat?
Well, it's killed anyway.
Zombo.
So some could have been blown up in 5 apiece, crowding around a meat bomb that was
you're not
specially planned to
My
blow
favorite
up
kind
in
of
their
bomb.
faces.
So
You
don't
can make a
drop
meat
a
bomb in Tears
building.
of the Kingdom, I'm sure.
But you can't drop a building on 1,000.
No, I definitely
that's an
played for a
accomplishment.
long time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
not
quick
in a
game.
I'm not saying this to brag. I want people to know how to avoid getting your hand in a sling and never playing video games again comfortably. Limbs maimed, 6,817 limbs maimed. That means I've chopped off heads and arms at about a 50% rate of death of these zombies. Fabrication parts collected, 19,000. So that's pressing the button 19,000 times. That's why this happened. And let's see, zombie parts harvested, 2,500. I picked up 2,500 zombie parts. Consumables fabricated. You know what? Now that I'm looking at this, I realized that I should have just taken a break. I should have just taken a break.
It's making you mad seeing your numbers?
It's not making me mad. I had a great time with it, but I could have just beaten the game once or even twice. There's 6 characters. You know how many times I beat this
All right,
game?
I have a question for you.
Yes.
How many? 4?
You play games a lot over. You restart games many times, and there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
Thank you.
Were you doing that this time because you really wanted to, or because you were trying to kill time between Tears of the Kingdom?
It's an addiction. There's certain, and I don't mean that lightly. I think seriously it was an addiction, because even the night I went home and tried to play and I first discovered that my wrist was hurting and I had to stop and go to sleep after 15 minutes, I was like, well, Tears of the Kingdom comes out in 2 days. I can just take a break from video games. The next morning I woke up and went straight to the PlayStation 5 to play some Dead Island. First thing in the morning. Who does that? It's not normal.
And then I coffee before you start
exactly.
Zombies.
And then I played for 15 minutes and it started to hurt again. And I was like, so then I had to stop again. But I wanted to keep going, and I kept going. And I beat the game twice, and I played through it 2 more times, and then I started a 5th character. And the only reason I didn't get any further with them is because my arm started hurting. And not every game will do that to me, but there's something about a Dead Island, Dying Light game. Those games really spoke to me and got me to scour them. So it's just that game. Yeah, I'm gonna be playing the crap out of Tears of the Kingdom. Don't worry, and I'm gonna like it even better. But I don't know. I think there's a mental addiction with that game, because I was doing things that were harmful for me and not doing anything else. I barely went on TikTok. I barely watched any movies or TV shows. I barely did anything else. I was just playing the same old stuff in Dead Island again and again. And like you said, there's nothing wrong with it if you love it, but you do have to kind of cool it, because it hurts. It's not It's killing me.
When I play
to play.
games, there are times when I definitely want to play more, but I'm like, I put in enough time, or I'll stop and eat, or I'm getting a headache. Like I will stop. There are certainly times where I'll play much longer than others, only because I'm not feeling any of those things, and it's fine. But I know those aren't like, it's not like an everyday thing. So
The one thing that really affects me that I have to stop is the motion sickness, and that'll throw me off for a night. The one thing though, I don't know if it's Tears of the Kingdom necessarily, but like just video game brain as a whole. You said that you went to sleep and then you went to play it and you played for 15 minutes and your hand started hurting. So like I automatically think like, all right, 6 hours of sleep means 15 minutes of use. So if I sleep a little bit longer, I can play longer. Like it builds up. So it's like, if I build up this, I can do this even longer. And it's just funny.
I wish my brain worked like that. I couldn't even sleep.
I mean,
the
that's not
night before
realistic,
Tears
but-
of the Kingdom, I was up all night with diarrhea, and I think it was just excitement. I think it was just excitement and nerves and anxiety and like excitement. So
it's funny. I'm famous with MomBrain for not being able to sleep from excitement for things, movies and TV shows and games. And I was right there with Tears of the Kingdom.
Or
like
we're gonna have a fun, like we have fun plans.
Tears of the Kingdom was coming out. Why do you think I texted you? I texted you and Adam that morning with the review score thing, because I knew like you guys would want to see it. But I sent it at 8:30 in the morning. Why was I up at 8:30 in the morning?
yeah,
I was too excited to sleep.
nice.
That's why.
I did. Think about
MomBrain
that.
left the house and slammed the door. That's fine. It never wakes me up. It woke me up that day. And I was like, oh, 8:30, I got to go back to sleep. And I'm laying there. I'm like, Tears of the Kingdom's coming out at midnight. And then I was like, I can't wait to. And then I like looked and I was like, oh, no, I've done it. I'm not going to be able to go back to
Thursday
sleep now.
morning.
Yeah. So I tried to go back to sleep after I texted you guys. And I lay there for an hour. And I was like, I'm going to do my walk.
I'll
Forget it.
have
The
you
day has
know-
started. We're going.
Yesterday morning, I closed that door so gently.
Oh, thank you. I didn't yell at you or anything.
No, I just felt so bad. I didn't realize I slammed it, and I felt bad.
Well, was it a slam, or could it be that you were just like
Just a close and you-
subconsciously?
No,
like you
'cause
were already excited.
I
in
will
your
say it was a
sleep.
slam because I got scared. Like I woke up, I was like I went to look outside, like what's going on, kind of thing. So it was definitely a louder closing.
Probably because I had like 45 things.
carrying a million things and you
that's what
can't even.
happens.
Yeah. Do you play anything else or no?
I didn't know.
All right.
Thank you, RMC, in advance for telling us what you've played.
Oh, thank you. And NickyHill, thank you for going into my office right now and grabbing the game that's on the table where you put the Mario toys. Because I only played one thing this week, and I mentioned it on Patreon. Well, I mentioned that I played something, but I didn't say what the game was. I said I would talk about it on the podcast. You guys are all excited about Tears of the Kingdom. Well, you all need to get on something else, because it's called Otoko Cross Naked Remix. The lovely people at Funbox Media reached out to
Funbox Media.
say, would you like to review
Well, we've got our hentai correspondent
Otoko
right here.
Cross Naked Remix?
I'm afraid you're not going to be able to play Tears of the Kingdom for a couple of weeks till you beat this.
Well, he apparently played it for me.
Different kind of tears.
Yeah.
Was this the game that you said you hadn't seen any wieners yet?
Yes.
Yeah, you were like, I've been trying really hard to whatever it is that you do with these gentlemen, and I haven't seen any wieners yet.
I didn't think of it as a reversible cover with one part of the art, but sure, you're right.
Just need one.
Okay, so Otoko Cross Naked Remix is a physical only release for the Switch. Yeah, don't show the
It
other
would have
side.
to be physical.
Both of these games are out digitally
It's
on.
not even that offensive.
Let me tell the story. Both of these games are out digitally right now on Switch, and they are lewd. They're a mahjong game and a solid Klondike solitaire. You play the games, you get through the rounds. The characters wear less clothing each time you do better. But this is Otoko Cross Naked Remix. 2 games in one. Why is it a physical release only? Because if you do a physical release, you do not have to have any censorship. So that's the case with this game.
So that there can be many physical releases.
Where's the stylus that came with it?
Oh, you don't want to say
Bend
that.
over.
You get if you want to go get it
There's
for
a
him.
stylus?
It's yes, it's on the.
I wouldn't touch it if I were you.
It's on the TV stand. It's right there in my office. It's like
It's-
pink and blue.
Yeah.
It looks like this.
Oddly enough, I'm glad you brought it up because it's a really nice stylus.
It looks nice.
So
Look at what
basically,
Anastasia Beaverhausen put in the
What?
Discord.
let me go
Oh, it's one of these.
back.
You hold it this way, she's got a bikini on. You turn it this way, it
It
comes
is
off.
not-
colors fall off.
That's funny, Anastasia.
It's a lot
So yeah,
lighter
these
than
are
I
the
expected.
same games that are on Switch eShop you can get right now, but with new content, as in
I've had my
new artwork, as in naked artwork. So here's what you do: you play Mahjong or you play Klondike Solitaire. I don't remember enough about Klondike Solitaire, so I'm playing the Mahjong game right now. I like Mahjong. I like matching tiles. It's a fun game. Here's the thing. They're all actual Mahjong. No, that's not true. They're all Mahjong inspired tiles. So like a lot of them will have like Japanese writing on them. And I'm not used to that. So matching that is harder for me than matching, A, B, C, D or whatever. There's tiles with artwork on them that you can easily match and other designs that are more easy to match. But some of them, you're like, oh, that's got a little square at the top. And this letter has a little rounded edge at the top. So that's a little tougher.
So
But
basically, you're striking out with these women and you're blaming it on the fact that you can't read Japanese.
I could not be happier that you said that. Because oh, you switched to cover.
What? Yeah, I switched back around. I thought it was inappropriate otherwise.
These are not women.
Oh,
Hence
really?
why I complain to MomBrain, where's the dick? Because I haven't gotten it yet. These are boys who
Oh.
like to dress pretty.
So you're sabotaging yourself on purpose.
No, show me the dick. I haven't gotten there yet. I've been playing this naked remix. I made it through 3 of the 5 characters. I don't know. I've seen them in all these pretty outfits. That's great. I haven't
Does
seen anybody
MomBrain
naked
have
yet.
to worry about your future together, or is
I don't-
this isn't
I
having
don't
any
think so.
effect?
Otako, but that's not the
Not
same as-
otaku.
right.
Otako. Look up what otako means. I actually don't know. Otoko. Odoko.
Oh, here's
Odoko is
here's
probably how you say it.
The subtitle: Pretty Boys Mahjong Solitaire.
There you go. See,
Thank
that
you, Red
subtitle
Susan.
isn't on here because it's just Otoko Cross Games and Naked Remix is the subtitle.
Maybe that says it.
Maybe. But anyway, the game's fun. As long as you like Mahjong, like it's a fun, obviously it's not family appropriate, but just playing the Mahjong perspective is good.
Otako means male or men.
There you go. Men cross. It makes so much more sense now.
Interesting.
So you this is this is funny. Okay. So I'm sure they include all the marketing says includes a stylus so you can play one-handed because they're joking about you doing something with the other hand. But this is the only Switch game I have played where playing with the touchscreen is the preferred way to play, because if you're playing on a TV and you're moving Mahjong tiles, you have to use the cursor to highlight the ones that you want. If you're playing handheld, you just touch the blocks. Yeah, it's much quicker. So I've been playing this handheld a ton. It's like, what I liken it to?
God.
A mobile puzzle game.
Yeah.
Like no one's ever going to be like, this is the best game I've ever played. This is amazing. But they scratch an itch. Like it's a puzzle game that it's a matching game. You just go through levels and you're like, this is satisfying.
So where did you play Florence?
Switch.
And you played that with a controller?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's
not the best way to play.
Right. That would make more sense to play that game.
Yeah.
Touchscreen, because it was a mobile game before first. Same with Donut County and stuff.
The only complaints I have so far are with I've only played, like I said, the Mahjong one. It's like Mahjong, so sometimes you can make moves where you don't have any more tiles to match and it's over. And there is a timer that ticks down the whole time, and as long as you make matches, the timer gets a little bit more time. But the further you get into the game, the quicker the timer is, so the pressure's on, and it can be really frustrating when you're working really hard on a Mahjong puzzle and you get like very close to eliminating all tiles, and it's like no more matches, and you're like, oh god, like some of the levels I've gotten stuck on for a long time. It's fun. It's certainly not appropriate for everyone, but I am an adult. I am over 18, and I can look at Otoko Cross characters that are naked all I want. So again, very disappointed because they have not been naked yet. I don't know what I got to do to get them naked.
Right? Like it's in the name.
Yes,
and you have to fight for it.
Where's my
naked
so
infuriating?
Remix? So nobody naked yet, but
almost naked
cowboys.
Remix.
I'm sorry, I don't know, cowgirls and
Well,
nurses and
are they they're definitely boys.
Well, we just learned Otoko means guy or whatever.
Right.
Man.
Otoko, man. So it's just guys dressing up pretty.
Okay.
That's what it is. Or in this instance, a maid and I would say an idol and what's that girl from Dead or Alive that wears all the American stuff? Whatever. Dressing like her.
Hittori?
Shoot, I don't
America.
remember.
I
Oh,
don't know.
she's young.
I mean, look, I'm wearing American stuff. Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, right here. So yeah,
Malakalo
Just from a
says
very-
Tina.
from a
Thank
thank you,
you.
Tina. And her dad is that pro wrestler guy. Just from a purely gameplay perspective, it's a fun puzzle game. It's nicely put together. Like it works as it should. There's nothing. It's no like I know there's a lot of quote unquote hentai games that their gameplay, even as rudimentary as it is handled poorly. Like it just doesn't work functionally. This plays well. It's a mahjong game. It's fun to play, and everything that's supposed to happen happens when you go to do it. So it's good. As far as the other content, so if you like that, that's totally fine. I got no problem with it. I'll play it. So there you go. Well, hopefully next week I can report back on dicks, but no dicks right
Is that an American release or is that
no
Peggy?
This is Peggy.
Peggy 18.
You can buy it, you can import it. It'll play on any region switch. Switch is region free, so you don't need anything special if you want to do that. But yeah, not surprisingly, this is published by East Asia Soft, who puts out a whole bunch of games, but a healthy amount of them are hentai related. But they do other games too. So thank you to Funbox Media
I'm a Wario.
and
I'm gonna win.
East Asia Soft for sending me the game. I mean, the physical copy doesn't come out for a while,
Mario's
but
big
they reached
fan.
out on Twitter and they were like, "Do you want it?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So I've been doing it. I seriously,
They were
I
like-
probably put like 6 hours into this game.
They
so
were like,
far.
we heard you're not getting Tears of the Kingdom early. Do you mind reviewing something
Yeah,
just as
right.
good?
It's been great for just picking up and playing handheld because if I'm like rendering a video or uploading a video or doing something that takes a long time on the site, I could just play a few rounds of mahjong on the touchscreen. It's great. I really like that. So I like it. I like it a lot.
Nice.
Hi, Steve Irwin RP. They say literally couldn't have been later, but Zelda came out on my birthday. So I've been pure vibing since. Godspeed pod. Steve Irwin, thanks for popping in to play, and we appreciate it, and we understand birthday and Zelda, big deal. Oh, George is in on this one too. Thanks, Josh. Nobody does it like you. And George, great. You two should make an album together.
Yeah, they could be like Boys to Men or something.
Otoko 2 Men. We have questions. Send your questions to goninpod@gmail.com. Goninpod@gmail.com. Give me about video games, Nintendo video games in general, or whatever the hell you want. Nico Darunia, happy birthday. Question. A couple of years ago, I asked you about which actor should interpret the podcast crew in a hypothetical Go Nintendo podcast film. I heard that the Go Nintendo podcast, the animated movie is in the works. Which actors or voice actors do you want to lend their voices to your characters? I think we would all want Chris Pratt, right? He can do it. He can do it all. I don't know. Who would I want?
I want Lucy from Twin Peaks to be my voice.
Okay.
Mhm.
Charlie Day, one of you two. I don't know. I just want to see him do it. Got no reason. I just want.
I only
Charlie
want him to be my voice if he's a big fan of Go Nintendo already. I don't want him just taking
Oh,
a
that's-
job.
I don't know what actors are big fans of Go Nintendo. I'm sure there's a couple out there.
Bad actors.
I
Am I
want-
right?
Voice actors too.
You know, it was just his birthday yesterday. Was
Rick
it Friday?
Steves,
No.
That
Oh,
was a
actually,
couple days
yeah,
ago.
that would have been good.
Ooh, could you imagine?
That would have been really
known
good.
for his voice
Darn it.
acting.
I was gonna say Gabriel Byrne because I thought it'd be funny to have like an Irish actor playing like an American Dorcas, but
An American Dorcas.
yeah, I don't know.
An American Dorcas in Ireland.
He'd need a stuntman for all the video game playing that I'm doing.
That's right.
But yeah, Rick Steves
Method
would
acting.
always be good.
Anybody else got anybody that comes to mind right? Make me Ted Danson just because I love Ted Danson. I know it makes no sense, but Ted
Well, I
Danson.
don't see why it wouldn't make sense.
You makes more sense. You're at least his height.
Mhm. I guess.
And
I
it's
think
just-
his
I'll take
forehead adds like an extra couple of inches.
Ted Danson needs to be in it. I don't care what he does. Ted Danson as Josh.
But these are just voices. These are just voice actors, right? It's not
Yeah.
real actors.
Yes.
Or
Not
I mean,
real actors.
I didn't mean it like
no,
I
I know what
certainly
you
didn't
meant.
mean
I
it
know
like
what you
that.
meant. Yeah, just voice actors. I don't know how much.
Because I was gonna say, with your new look, I mean, we could get Jason Momoa for you, bud.
Whoa.
We'd have to ugly him up though.
He's too cool. Oh wow, he's too. I mean, we all saw him in that trailer for Fast whatever.
He was really cool in that
He
trailer.
was really cool in it.
He was
I'm not gonna
really
lie.
cool. He was really cool.
If we can think of it, and of course, it goes without saying, Danny DeVito for someone.
D DeVito.
I mean, I'll take Danny DeVito.
I will too. I don't even
You're
like.
gonna-
You have him.
Oh,
I'll take.
he'll play you. I thought you meant you would play him.
No, I'll take him on. Like,
Fight him. Okay,
Oh,
I got it. Clearly. I don't know. He could be pretty squirrely.
He's
I bet.
from Jersey. You
We
better
saw him
watch out.
crawl. He crawled.
wait, you
out
are
of
too.
that-
Oh my God!
Like the
He
man
crawled out of
practically has
that couch
dwarfism.
in Always Sunny, so he's got some moves.
We're saying actors to play us.
Play us out.
It's like
That's the thing
Yeah.
we've been talking about for 5 minutes.
I mean,
now.
I didn't know what you were talking about before. I was trying to piece it together, and I'm just confirming.
Where'd you go?
that was good.
I had to go get your stylist.
That was really good.
I was thinking about those
I've been looking
Otoko
up
boys.
otakus this whole time.
Portray us.
I mean, if,
So he'd be
if,
William Shatner then.
if you really
Brilliant.
if you really want me to be played by or portrayed by Charlie Day, then fine. But like, I don't know, maybe Zach Galifianakis
Sure. He's not doing anything
Wilson.
nowadays. Why not?
or Owen Wilson. Wow,
Jonathan Frakes.
I do say wow.
Jonathan Frakes. That's it.
He's got a good
definitely.
voice.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Not a chance. We
Who's
created.
Riker from
Who's
Star
Jonathan
Trek.
Frakes? He's the man that the
It's-
only other
it's
man
all
on
made up.
TV
Had
known
an
for
ice
sitting in
cream.
Yeah.
chairs.
Have you ever
weird.
had an ice cream? Have you ever sat in
Oh.
a seat?
I've been watching that
felt
show
wet.
on the Tubi. It's so bad. I love it.
It's great.
so
It's great.
The acting is terrible.
Yep.
Which show is that?
Beyond belief, fact or fiction.
Oh, that.
Did we not spend like a day or
Oh.
something watching it? Like I feel like it was like a New
Watching
Year's
what?
Day or like
Watching what?
fact or
Fact or
Or
F.
fart.
We did spend a day watching. I'm so sorry. I have a correction to make. Ice Dilbert brought this to my attention, and Solid Master Link brought his attention to my
Do
attention.
I have Tubi?
The previous version of this Otoko Cross says, for those wondering, there is indeed uncensored 18 plus nudity in Otoko Cross Pretty Boys Mahjong Solitaire. No patch required. So this, if you read the press release, it says there's extra content created. So there's some kind of stuff that was too raunchy for the eShop version. But he says, once you've beaten all stages, a naked mode button will appear
Oh.
above the title menu, which can be toggled on and off. So I got to beat the
Oh.
whole game. There's 4 characters, 4 stages for each character, a bonus 5th character that only gets unlocked when I've done the other 4. I got to go through 4 stages with them.
I'm sorry, 4
Then-
stages of mahjong.
Yeah. Each character has 4 stages.
To play us in a movie?
It's not that bad. each stage of Mahjong gets more tiles and less time.
Okay.
And if you get stages where you do the tiles and it's like no matches left, then you got to start over. It takes a while.
Yeah.
So I got to go through all that
Yeah, I don't know if
to
this
see
is
them
worth it.
naked. Let me see them naked when I still have
That's like
things
real
to do.
life, right?
Like I don't want to see. I've finished the game. I don't want to go back in
I've
to
seen
play
everything.
the stuff I've already done. Like, give me 4 characters, naked mode for the special 5th character. Then I got a reason to go back. If I've already played the whole game, I'm not going to replay the game just because they're naked. I mean, I will because I got to review for reviews.
That's
of
like
course,
real
of course.
life. Like you have to go
For-
through a. You got to
I'm reviewing a
jump
game.
through a
in
lot
Deep
of hoops to get a
review.
man naked.
What?
That's like real life. That you got to do a bunch of things to get a man naked.
I really don't think you have to do much.
Not really.
That was yeah. I
You
was
got to
joking.
buy him a drink
Oh.
at least.
love that you said to get a man naked. I just don't. I like that you said it that way. That's good.
Well, we'll have to clip that little soundbite.
Mhm.
To get a man naked. Yeah. So there's the answer to that question. But we got another question on Patreon. Hey, MomBrain.
Yeah.
Did you know you could join the GoNintendo Patreon
For $1.
for $1? Joe Player joined Patreon for $1. Thank you, Joe, for your monthly $1.
Yeah, Joe.
They say the announcement of the new Etrian Odyssey collection reminded me of this. I purchased Etrian Odyssey 2 for the DS right when I know you've already tuned out. Soundtracks by Yuzo Koshiro. I'm trying to get
I'm
your
tuning
attention.
back in.
I purchased Etrian Odyssey 2 for the DS right when it came out. I started playing right away and created my party using all potential baby names for the son we were expecting at that time. I slowly chipped away at the game. Same game file. No restarts. Over time. and finally finished it 2 weeks before my son's 6th birthday. Oh man. I want to know what you two are laughing at.
Seen that happen.
Hold on, let me finish the question and I'll get to it. So my question is for each of the podcast crew, what is the longest time between starting a game and finishing it? Not starting, stopping, leaving, coming back. Starting a new game file, then finishing it, but the same game file. That's the question. What did I miss over here?
Nothing. Literally nothing.
Really?
I heard you laughing, and then I heard you laughing, and then you both started laughing.
I
And
think she
nothing
was laughing
happened.
just because I was laughing.
It was just a moment. It was a moment. It was.
I tried to choke back a laugh, and that
and
probably
that's what
looked
did it.
funny.
That's what did it. Well, that's what did it. There's
Okay.
nothing funnier than a laugh that shouldn't be laughed.
Yeah, that's true. Unless it's
I've been there.
it's you dying laughing, because then that gets me going every time.
All right, guys. So
I
Joe,
remember-
player's question.
We had that moment in college. We both went into a bathroom and somebody was blowing it up in there.
Oh yes,
And we were like trying to not laugh.
I forgot about that, man.
So
That
it's like
was
those
great.
laughs
Was
where
it
you're
just
like,
loud, and that was why it was funny? Or?
yeah, but it was just like that.
Somebody was
you know
enjoying
those
the
laughs where
acoustics
like
to
you
their
hold it
fullest
in
extent.
until you just go.
We I don't remember. We like ran out of there because we had to laugh, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I do remember that. Question was, what is the longest time between starting a game and finishing it? So again, cannot restart. We're talking about start, stop for however long, and then pick up that same save file and continue. What is the longest one for you? What is the game? Do you have one in mind?
What have I played the longest?
No.
Or-
I'm gonna say this again.
I'm gonna say it was
This
probably
is a game you've played,
you
but
put
you
on
had to
pause
stop
for the
for a
longest.
while. And it could have been months, it could have been years. And you went back and picked up that same save file and continued to finish the game.
First of all, the cat is on top of a box in
Oh,
the living
okay.
room. It's great. Second, it was probably Animal Crossing to come back and find like cockroaches and whatever, and like
What town?
Yeah.
Yeah. How? When was the last time any of us went back to our pets and Nintendo?
Oh, they're waiting for us. They'll be happy we're back. They won't be mad at us. I know I've done it. I'm just trying to think of what like I'm trying to think of any of them right now.
I can't do that. In fact, I might have mentioned earlier this very show that I have trouble doing that.
One game
The one
fella.
the one thing that I can think of was Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater with that sniper, but I did that because I heard that
Yeah.
that was the thing to do. It wasn't because I fell out of it and then came back to play. So
I
don't
know I've done it with a couple RPGs. Because things just came up and then I went back to it. And I'm like, why did I ever stop? I did it with Nier Automata the first time it came out. Just things got in the way. I don't know how long it was. It was probably like 4 or 5 months before I went back into that. It was one of those things where I was really enjoying the game. And the next chance I had to play, I didn't have a lot of time to play. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I'll just wait until I actually have a whole bunch of time. And then
You
things
never
snowballed.
had time again.
So it took like 4 months or so, if I remember correctly, to get back to it. So that's the one that sticks
Nier
out in my head
Automata,
right now.
More like Far Automata at that point.
That's a good.
Yeah, it was good.
Not even close.
Goodbye,
Automata.
everybody.
Anybody else? Any game that comes to mind? Do says he can't do it, and I understand that.
I'm just looking through games that I've completed recently because that's the only way that I would know it.
I thought of one after you.
And I think like the closest one maybe when I started playing Eternal Darkness and the game disc was scratched, so I couldn't play it.
Oh,
and so like
no.
but the thing is I had to go back and start from the beginning, so I didn't like continue from that point. But that was a couple of years between that, and there was something else.
The rats ate your save file on that one.
Dang.
Oh,
I'm gonna keep looking here because I know there was one recently.
Do?
Same thing with Okami.
Oh, Kami.
Okami. I think I had to restart that because
no restarts allowed.
How many
It's
times
just
have you played that game?
1.5 because I played through it and I had to stop, and so much time went by that I had to start from the
But
very
you
beginning.
played it.
I think I started from the
You
beginning.
played it on the GameCube, was it, or was that a Wii game originally?
It was originally PS2, went to Wii later.
I played it. I think
So, because you have it on the Wii and the Switch, or do you just have it on the Wii?
I don't know anymore.
Yeah, I don't know it anymore either.
Absolutely amazing.
Did you get your finger stuck in the?
His finger stuck.
Oh.
I think I started it.
I
I
did,
think I
I
started it on the Wii, and then I went back and I finished it. I played through the whole thing on the Switch.
Wow. Do you remembered something?
Yeah, Death's Door on the Switch. I
Ah.
played like probably more than half of it when I was in California, and then I moved here, and then I kind of was in a situation where gaming was not very comfortable for me, not physically, but just on every other level, and didn't play for a bit. And then when I got back into it, I think you were starting to really get into it, and I was like, oh, I can't let him go through this alone. So I think I picked it back up, and I don't know what forced me through. I really love that game, though.
It's a great
So,
game. Yeah, I don't feel that game got enough. Got the love it deserved. That's a really fun game.
Yeah, so that one was good, and I finished it.
There you go. No other answers. We're good here.
So wait, I'm sorry. Can you
Oh
just
my
read the
God,
question one more
Kirby.
time?
It is a game
Mhm.
where you played it
Yeah.
to a point, stopped, a considerable amount of time passed, and you went back to that same save file.
So what's going to
And
happen with
finished
Hollow
it.
Knight, basically, in you?
Hollow Knight would be a perfect example, as long as you didn't delete the save.
Well, actually, it happened when I played Breath of the Wild.
There you go.
Be the dub.
How long was
No.
How long was your time in between, roughly?
Oh man, it was probably at least several months.
So a decent amount of
Yeah.
time. Yeah, it's something I try to avoid doing because I do forget things, and now I realize how much I forget.
That really
them, so.
screwed me up.
Yeah. Again, this is like the third episode in a row where I say all games should have that reminder feature that Dragon Quest XI has. It's fantastic.
Didn't you do that with that the Fox Zelda ripoff game? Didn't you play like a bunch of it and then you stopped for a bit and then you went back and finished it? Or-
I did, but not like a ton of time. I was just like, yeah, it's fine. This is not a bad game, but I was like not like chomping at the bit to go back into it. But I did, yeah.
You loved that game.
I thought so too.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, wait. You said it was like
Talking about
your
Tunic.
favorite game,
Oh, Tunic. I
Yeah.
thought you were talking about
the one with the fox.
I don't know why I thought this. The Ubisoft Zelda ripoff.
What's the Ubisoft Zelda?
Oh, like the
ripoff?
pixel one.
Blossom Tales or
No, with the angel.
Phoenix Rising.
Oh,
Yeah, that one.
Phoenix
Yeah, for
Rising.
some reason that's where my mind went. I don't know.
Okay.
Tunic. Did I? Yes, you're right. Tunic's a great example. You're right. That's exactly what happened. I don't know if it was longer than Near Automata, but you're right. I did, and I had to relearn, and I was at a boss fight. Yep, that's a great.
Because
Example,
I was like,
forgot.
you're gonna have to start over. It's too complicated, and you went in and you did it.
Yeah, because that was a game I didn't want to restart because I had found so many secrets up to that point, and I remembered story what was going on. So I was like, "There's been too much. I don't want to restart." Perfect example. There you go.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I
Is yours?
started that, and then I think I took a couple months off. Like it just didn't do it for me. I think I played that after something else, and I was just like, "This is not Uncharted," you know, because it's not. And then yeah. But then I
Time
went
for
back and
another
finished it.
reboot.
I've got a bunch of games
Yeah, we need Tomb
that
Raider
if
1.
I go back and finish them, I'll have a bunch of examples where I didn't play them for years. But
Well, we look forward to hearing those. MomBrain,
now I have to wait for that question to be asked.
I'm
again.
leaving this decision up to you. We are at 3:15. Do you want to do music or not?
I mean, I don't have any ready. Because
Okay,
I
then
figured
we won't.
wouldn't.
3:15. It's good. No complaints here. I know that makes everybody upset, but blame me.
Well, I'm happy. To
No.
take the blame.
It's a long show. It's our longest show ever. I mean, appropriately so because of Tears of the Kingdom. But do we have anything to end with, or did we already get it earlier?
Oh, we got it earlier, but we got something to
Oh
end
my
with, baby.
God.
Dues, views. It's never news. Rumor of the week, starring Do Michaels. Ladies and gentlemen, if you listen to this podcast, you know how rumors work. They come to Do, and Do gives them to you at the end of the show. This rumor is coming across my desk as we speak right now. I'm getting the weird bit of info about this rumor. This one's actually true. So this is a true one.
Wow.
It has to do with Tears of the Kingdom. So we're talking about Otaku Cross Naked Remix earlier and how you have to finish the game to get the naked mode. Well, guess what, baby? A lot of the people who've been playing Tears of the Kingdom speedrun already found out that there's a naked mode at the end of that, just like in this game. So you can go through and see Rauru naked and
Remember,
Sonya. And...
beat the game first, and then it will add a button to the menu to make everybody naked, and it renames the game Penis Tears of the Kingdom.
Thanks Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
And the only
Rest,
thing in your
relax,
inventory is
hang out
raw
with family
meat.
and friends. Do something fun. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye. You gave my after show ending for the regular show, but I'll take it.
And
That's good.
I think of that too. Raw,
I'm sorry,
Raw
my
Rose-
part was rumor. Yours was fact.
No, your part was the best part.
you can play stranger mode with Raro's hand.
Oh,
Well, that's
That's
an
funny.
interesting thing. Does Link, have any feeling in that?
oh, a real stranger. I
maybe,
got what you're
who
saying.
knows?
Yeah, that's
Who
true.
knows?
I was
Maybe you
gonna
could
say that
fuse
too.
something, to the
Oh, I get it.
to the
I
old
get it.
chap.
I was gonna say that early on, but I didn't. But you know how Miyamoto like takes his life experiences and puts them into games. That like this whole
Yes.
Phantom Arm thing came during a period of stranger.
Well, guys, I won't
Experiment
keep you
thinking.
for an after show long. I know you're all either
Everybody's
playing
already
Tears of the
out.
Kingdom
Everybody's
or you want to
playing.
go play Tears of the Kingdom. So if you did spend any of this time with us, be it while playing Tears or just sitting here watching or listening, I greatly appreciate it. I am honored to have you on every podcast, but this one especially. So thanks so much.
And we are sorry about the soundboard, guys.
Smash that like
We
button.
really apologize for the soundboard.
It'll be
Squat
back
a lot, we are
quieter
off.
and bigger than ever like next week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hang out with friends and family. Play some games. Rest, relax. You deserve it. Yo. And we'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. And we're done.
Alf blew the kiss this time around.